Dead Rails is one of the most intensive survival games ever, which is why I decided to take it to the next level and added it into hardcore Minecraft. Now for the next 100 days, I'll be fighting off hordes of zombies, packs of wolves, and deadly vampire creatures with nothing but the tools I scavenged. Will I be able to escort the train and find the cure, or will I be stopped by the infamous Nikola Tesla? It was time to find out as I spawned in as a classless player in a fortified town. Suddenly, the walls around me began to collapse as zombies and wolves infiltrated the area. Armed with nothing but my shovel, I tried to take down the hordes of enemies, but there were too many. I wasn't strong enough. I have to find cover now! I climbed up a ladder to reach higher ground as the mobs below swarmed around me. What's going on? I thought fortified towns were safe.
Not while I'm here.
Just then, a terrifying abomination with a brain for a head emerged before me.
With my army of the undead, nothing will stop me from taking over the world.
Nikola charged forward and used his immense strength to destroy the building I was standing on. I fell to the ground, now completely vulnerable to his attacks. Out of options, I jumped past his next attack and made a run for it, while Nikola chased me in hot pursuit. On day 2, I was being chased through the desert by Nikola Tesla. He was bigger and faster than me. If I didn't find a way to lose him soon, I was going to be done for. Luckily, I spotted a train in the distance. That's my ticket out of this mess. I got closer to the vehicle, but to my horror, it wasn't a normal train, but a terrifying monster. It reared its ugly head at me, crawling forward with its scary limbs. I turned and ran the other way as the mutated bus started to chase me next. I managed to find cover under a nearby rock formation, but I couldn't get the creature off my head. This monster is insane, but there are loads of other super cool creatures you can find in the awesome mobile game Once Human. What if the world ended and you got to rebuild it? Imagine a full open world survival game with AAA visuals and no pay to win nonsense. Everything is earned through gameplay, grind, craft, build, battle, survive. That's how you get stronger. A Minecraft with realistic graphics and post-apocalyptic twist, insane bosses, and a fun building experience. And yes, it's totally free and on mobile. What's great is that it isn't a stripped down mobile version. It's the full PC experience, just on your phone. Cross-platform, smooth performance, and graphics that honestly rival console survival games. Think Genshin Impact, but if it took a hard turn into creepy post-apocalyptic territory. You can choose PvE or PvP servers, explore eerie zones, take on massive mutant bosses, and build your gear from the ground up. Collect blueprints, craft weapons, customize your armor, and if you've got friends to team up with, it's even better. And for launch, you're getting over 1,000 premium items for free. Enough to skip the early grind and jump straight into the good stuff. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, just real survival. So click the link below or scan the QR code and get started in Once Human with your exclusive rewards today. Thanks Once Human for sponsoring the video. I heard the sound of fighting and looked out to find Nikola and the train beast locked in combat. Now was my chance to get out of here. I ran towards another train. Thankfully, this one wasn't a monster. I climbed aboard and I quickly found a problem with it. This thing is out of fuel. How am I supposed to get it moving? Things went from bad to worse as zombies began approaching my location. They tried climbing aboard and I used my shovel to knock down a few of them, causing their heads to drop on the floor when they died. Maybe these can be used for fuel. I grabbed the heads and tossed them into the incinerator, causing the train to power up. I began to drive forward as Nikola Tesla began to catch up. Luckily, the train was fast enough to outrun him for now.
You can't run forever. I'll find you.
After a while, the train once again grinded to a halt as it burnt up the last of its fuel. I was now stationed outside of a campsite. Maybe I can find some loot here. I climbed out of the train, but was instantly faced with a group of angry outlaws. They pointed their weapons at me, and I realized I had just walked straight into enemy territory.
Well. Looks like we found ourselves some fresh meat.
I made a run for it as the outlaws came after me, firing their guns like madmen. On day 3, I was being showered in a flurry of bullets as the outlaws fired their guns at me. I managed to take cover behind some rocks in the canyon, but it wasn't going to protect me for long. All I have is a shovel. There's no way I can beat these guys. Just then, I spotted a mine right next to me. I ran over and dodged the incoming fire. I found a miner's helmet. I grabbed it and equipped it, imbuing me with new power. I obtained a new class, the miner class. A pickaxe and coal was added to my inventory thanks to my new perks. I just have to get back to the train and get out of here. I made a run for it as the outlaws continued their attack. Unfortunately, a couple of them cut me off from my path, wielding sharp knives.
Where do you think you're going?
Using my new pickaxe, I wailed into them to fend off the outlaw threat, allowing me to push forward. They chased after me in hot pursuit, but I managed to hop on my train and fired it up with my coal, narrowly escaping the camp. Hopefully this can get me far enough away from these outlaws. I rode the train outwards into the night, but soon my coal supply ran dry. The train once again grinded to a halt, and I was stranded in the middle of nowhere. The sound of howling filled the night, sending chills down my spine. I don't like the sound of that. I left the train behind and sought cover as the area was completely filled with terrifying werewolves. I had to find more fuel and keep moving before they spotted me. On days 4 through 7, I laid low as the werewolves hunted for me through the night. I managed to spot a small quarry and slipped inside of it. Luckily, a few veins of coal were scattered around, ready to be mined. If I can mine this coal without being spotted, I can ride the train out of here. I began to mine for the coal, but as I did, one of the werewolves jumped down into the quarry, forcing me to stop to stay hidden. No sudden movements. The werewolf sniffed around, but it wandered away from me, buying me just enough time to keep mining. With careful timing, I managed to gather enough coal to get out of there. I made my way out of the mine to regain my bearings. Perfect. I just have to fire up the train. Just as I thought I was in the clear, the werewolf that was wandering around the quarry appeared behind me. My cover had been blown. The beast began to howl, trying to get the other werewolves to rush towards my location. Be quiet! I tried to attack the beast, but he quickly lashed at me with his razor-sharp claws, forcing me to back off. This guy is too tough for me. I gotta get back to the train. While the wolf continued to howl, I ran out of the quarry, back towards the train. Unfortunately, the rest of the pack were closing in on my location and began chasing after me. At this rate, they were going to catch up, and I wasn't going to make it to the train in time. On days 8 through 10, I was quickly surrounded by werewolves, ready to rip me limb from limb. Good doggies, please don't kill me. Just as I thought I was about to become werewolf food, I spotted a cowboy hat on the ground next to me. I picked it up and equipped it, granting me another incredible new class. I obtained the cowboy class, giving me my own revolver weapon, as well as my very own horse companion. I can use multiple classes at once. Now this is more like it. Yeehaw! I then mounted onto my trusty steed, fired my new weapon back at the werewolves. I was doing some good damage to them, but I quickly realized that their numbers were becoming overwhelming. Okay, time to go. As I galloped away from the werewolves, I spotted an interesting looking robot, but I couldn't slow down to take a better look. There are loads of secrets hidden throughout the video. Be sure to find them all. Thanks to the help of my horse, I managed to get back to the train and use my newly mined coal to drive away from the angry pack of werewolves. Thanks, I couldn't have done it without you, buddy. I'm gonna call you Ranger. As we drove through the night, I soon spotted an orange glow in the distance. A nearby town was on fire. What's going on over there? I have to check it out. On days 11 through 14, I arrived at the burning town to find that it was infested with zombies. I began blasting the zombies with my weapon as they approached the train. This might be a bad pit stop. Maybe we should get out of here. I was about to start up the train again until I saw another cowboy of the arsonist class, tossing firebombs at the horde.
Help! They just keep coming!
Oh no, that person needs help. Stay here, Ranger. I'll be right back. Armed with my weapons, I fought my way through the zombies to get to the player. There were loads of them coming after me, but I was able to blast my way through to keep moving forward. Although by the time I reached him, he was acting strangely. Are you okay?
Brains.
Uh-oh. no, I'm too late! The new zombified arsonist attacked me, using his fiery powers to deal big damage. He was a lost cause, so I fought back with my revolver weapon to try and take him down. It was tough, as he tossed loads of fire bombs in my direction, but thankfully, I was able to end him for good. Sorry about that, partner. I had no choice. When he died, he dropped his arsonist gear, and I claimed it for myself. I was now imbued with his powers, as I obtained the arsonist class along with some fire bombs. The remaining zombies in the area began to rush towards me, and I used my new ability to burn them to a crisp. Nice! This new item will definitely come in handy. As I was about to leave, I also spotted a letter on the ground, which I picked up. The zombie outbreak has gotten out of hand. You must pass over the bridge and retrieve the cure before it spreads through the entire world. There's a cure! Well, as long as I'm piloting the train, then I'm the man for the job. Time to save the world. I began making my way towards the train until suddenly a massive zombie, unlike any of the others I had seen before, came forward. He was a suited commander, wielding a razor-sharp sword. I braced myself for battle as the commander charged towards me. On days 15 through 17, I was fighting it out with Captain Prescott. I tried to blast him with my revolver, but he was far stronger than the other enemies I had faced. He came back at me, slicing with his impressive sword attacks, quickly overpowering me in the fight.
You're mine, human.
He slashed down to land the finishing blow, but luckily I dodged it. Eat Molotov! Using my new arsonist powers, I pelted him with Molotovs, buying me enough time to escape back onto my train. As I was about to leave, Captain Prescott used his supernatural powers to set a curse upon me. His curse was slowly draining my health. Ah! Oh no! What's happening? I drove off in the train, escaping Captain Prescott for now, but I needed to find a way to remove his curse from my body before I would die. I stepped into the next town, where I spotted a church in the distance. There could be holy water in there. That's my ticket out of this mess. Suddenly, a blood moon rose, turning the sky red. Vampires began appearing around me, ready to attack. Things just got a lot tougher. On days 18 through 21, I fought my way through the vampires as I tried to reach the church. Although their teleportation abilities made them hard to lose, I managed to slay the threats on my way to the church. Once they were defeated, I entered the church to find holy water at the end of the room. Just as I was about to grab the holy water, a vampire teleported in my path.
You'll never get this water.
The vampire's body contorted as he mutated into a massive, terrifying bat creature. He screeched at me, destroying the inside of the church in his wake. I tried to fight back with the weapons I had, but he was impossible to strike down in my current state. He continued with his wing attacks and furious fangs. Luckily, I had a plan B. Take this! I used one of my Molotovs on the creature, along with the church. I ran over to the holy water and quickly dunked myself inside to cleanse my curse. Okay, now I'm back in business. The massive bat succumbed to the fire, and I managed to get out of the burning building. But more vampires were waiting for me at the entrance. They pounced on me with their vampire attacks, dropping me to critical health. Okay, never mind. These guys are tough. I took cover inside another building where I was lucky enough to find a doctor's class hat. I put on the hat, granting me another new class. I now had the power of the doctor class, which gave me 10 more hearts. That's just what I needed. Time to get out of here. I ran and saw that the blood moon had passed. I then spotted Ranger waiting for me. Let's get back to the train. I hopped on my horse and we galloped back to the train. On days 22 to 25, I returned to my train and spotted something unusual. It was a letter on the ground. A diary entry from Nikola Tesla. What is this doing here? And what does it mean? As I read the letter, visions of Nikola Tesla's past started to dance through my head.
Entry 1. My name is Nikola Tesla, the top scientist in the world and mastermind of world-changing inventions.
What a schmuck. Even in his letters, his ego is massive.
I just received orders from the military to manufacture a new bioweapon. While they tell me it will benefit the world, I worry about how quickly they want it to be completed.
So he used to work for the military. Are they the true villains behind all of this?
Even so, if my employees and I are able to produce something effective, we could make something capable of protecting this world from any threat. It's time to get to work.
The vision started to fade, and I was left with more questions than answers. Wait, Nicola wasn't always a mad scientist? What happened to him and his employees? And what is this bioweapon he's talking about? Before I could even think to start investigating, I heard the sound of horses' hooves in the distance. Outlaws, what do they want?
There's the runaway that killed our men!
Get him!
Looks like we have company, Ranger. It's time to fight. For the days of 26 to 28, I prepared myself with my trusty steed as the outlaws approached. Time to put these sharpshooting skills to the test. I started blasting at the outlaws while they continued to ride up to me, firing at me as well. I tried my best to snipe them out, but they were moving too fast on their horses, and I couldn't get a good shot on them. Luckily for me, Ranger was fast too, and they couldn't get a good shot on me as well. Eventually, we all stopped moving, and the area was filled with tension.
Looks like you're not a very sharp shooter.
Neither are you three.
You want to say that again, partner?
Nah, I'm gonna skip the talking. I took this moment to fire a shot at the head outlaw, knocking him off his horse and killing him.
Hey, you can't do that!
I just did. What are you gonna do about it? Before I could fire another shot, the outlaw fired at me, knocking me off my horse and onto the ground. Ugh! Wait, what's that? Just when I thought I was out of luck, I saw that the main outlaw had dropped his white, shiny cowboy hat on the ground below. Looks like it's my lucky day after all. I hopped back onto my steed and hurried towards the hat to grab it. I immediately put it on, granting me the High Roller class. I can now collect double the amount of loot from bounties and dead bodies. Can't get rid of me that easily. The other two outlaws started to approach me, but I was faster with my steady hand and shot the first one, killing him instantly. Then I shot the last one, knocking him off his horse.
You won, partner. Ugh.
I approached the final outlaw's body. Let's see how much loot these bounties will give me. I grabbed his body and dragged it back to my train before heading off to my next destination. I rode my train all the way to the fortified city, where I was able to turn in the body of the fallen outlaw. I'm here to collect their bounty.
Very well. Take this for your trouble.
The sheriff handed me my gold, which seemed to me more than I would usually get, thanks to my class upgrade. With this money, I can get tons of cool new guns and upgrades. I had my mind set on getting new parts to fortify my train. The High Roller class is the best. Come on, Ranger, let's hit the tracks. I then set off on the rails again. Everything seemed to be going my way. That was until rain started to pour down. Looks like a storm's a-brewing. We should take cover. Before I could finish my thought, lightning suddenly zapped down towards my left, then to my right. It was coming from everywhere, faster than I could react. Something was definitely wrong. I had never seen a storm this strong in the west before. I wondered if it had to do with my new upgrade. Oh no, the High Roller class makes it more likely for lightning to strike me. I had no choice but to try and outrun this storm, as the weather became more violent. On days 29 to 32, I was riding forward, trying to outrun the lightning from the storm. However, not even the speed of my train was fast enough to escape the full force of the thunderstorm. Lightning bolts were striking down all around me, threatening the train and my horse Ranger as well. My High Roller class is putting us all at risk. I spoke too soon, as a lightning bolt was starting to hit Ranger head on. I can't stay here! Abandon ship! I stopped the train as fast as I could. Ranger and I then jumped off right before lightning struck where he was standing. We had to take cover as soon as possible. I had to find a way to get the lightning to stop. But how? I spotted an old house in the distance that would be good for cover. But before we could get to it, lightning struck it, burning it to a crisp. Guess we need to keep looking. We were forced to run and try to find somewhere else to hide from the storm. Just then, I saw something in the distance. A church! That's perfect! We ran inside, taking cover from the storm. Hopefully, this place can take a few hits of lightning without getting set ablaze. Ranger then found something inside of the church. What's that, boy? Ranger showed me a map on the floor. I picked it up and investigated it further. The crucifix of protection? This could be just the thing that could stop the lightning. I was interrupted by a loud blast of lightning that blew a hole in the church. Fire began to spread through the building, and we needed to get out fast. This isn't good. Let's get out of here, Ranger. We ran out of the burning church and began following the map the best I could. We arrived at the location on the map for days 33 to 35. There, I saw the crucifix of protection waiting for me, far in the distance. And bingo was his name-o. Before I could continue moving towards the artifact, lightning started to strike in between myself and the crucifix. This created walls of flames blocking my path. No matter, I can press on. I did my best to avoid the fires, but lightning kept creating more walls. I had to dodge and weave around the flames, ensuring I wouldn't get struck down and set ablaze. As I was moving through the area, I thought I noticed someone running around, but they got zapped by lightning before I could get a good look at them. Did you see that? Rewatch the video at 0.25 speed and try to spot it. Lightning continued to strike, causing more flames. I ran as fast as I could towards the artifact. I had to act fast, so I took a leap of faith and grabbed the crucifix. As I did, I gained the priest class and all its abilities. Suddenly, lightning struck me, but I took no damage at all. I was now immune to lightning, thanks to my new priest class status. Now I have the combined powers of the priest and high roller class. As I was celebrating, I spotted a book hiding in some rubble. I rushed over to it and picked it up to investigate. This is another entry of Nikola Tesla. I can learn about his past. As I started to read, I could see visions of Nikola Tesla and even heard his voice.
After countless hours of research, my employees and I have manufactured the ultimate bioweapon, Agent 15. It is an unstable weapon that has shown promise, but without proper testing, it's impossible to know if it has negative side effects. Unfortunately, the military has ordered me to begin distribution immediately.
This must be what has been causing all the zombies. He started to give this Agent 15 stuff to people without even testing it? This guy truly is evil. No wonder the government hired him.
I've already sent hundreds of barrels down the railways. Here's to hoping we change the world for the better. The first of them will arrive at Sterling tomorrow.
There wasn't any more information to read, so my vision and thoughts returned to normal. Sterling, huh? I bet I could find out more about Agent 15 and Tesla if I go over there. Let's get back to the train. On days 36 to 39, I rode my train to the town of Sterling to see what I could find. I wasn't surprised that it seemed to be completely abandoned. Time to do some snooping around for some clues. Ranger, you stay here and watch the train. You never know what could happen. I started to search around, looking through buildings and whatnot, when I eventually found a jade tablet. What is this doing here? I then picked up the tablet before spotting a sign that had more answers for me. Find the other 3 jade tablets and be rewarded. So there are 3 more. I better start searching. I scoured the town for more tablets, looking in every nook and cranny of each building. I wasn't having any luck in this ghost town though. Most of the houses were empty, and the establishments were no help as well. Where could those dang jade tablets be? I continued to search until I found an entrance to an old mine boarded off. I knew this had to be something important to look into. They're probably hiding some loot down here. Time to crack this place open. I used my arsonist powers to blast open the door, allowing me entry into the mine. I started to explore, descending deep into the caves below. As I was looking around, I found veins of coal that I dug up to help me on my journey. Always need more coal to power the train. I can't believe there still is some coal down here though. As I was mining, I heard something creeping up behind me. What the? I was ambushed by a group of skeletons who started to attack me with pickaxes. It was time for me to fight back against these undead freaks. I used my arson powers along with any of my guns, but there were a lot of skeletons to fight. I was overwhelmed. They hit hard with their pickaxes. These guys were stronger than they looked, and with their numbers, I had to really give it my all. One miss could mean life or death. No wonder these mines were sealed off. You guys just keep coming. The skeletons weren't stopping anytime soon. Their numbers kept growing. I'd kill one and 2 more would take its place. I gotta get some space between them now. I tried to run through the mines, but the walls were tight and skeletons were coming from all around. Somehow though, I was able to find an opening, but unfortunately, my path led me to a dead end. Just my luck. I turned to see many more skeletons headed my way, but suddenly, the wall behind me exploded, knocking me back. That can't be good. Behind the broken wall was a group of dynamite zombies. Yep, not good. I had unknowingly walked right into a trap of undead mobs. On days 40 through 43, I was under attack by the dynamite zombies and the skeletons, coming at me from all sides of the mines of Sterling. The new zombie enemies were making my life extremely difficult, as they were throwing dynamite everywhere. The explosions from the zombies started to cause the caves to become unstable. Debris was falling from the ceiling as the mines were shaking. I gotta get out of here! I started to run out of the mines, avoiding falling rubble and skeleton claws as I continued to be chased. Just a little further! further! As I ran, a wall crumbled in front of me, clearing a passage void of any skeletons or zombies. New plan, follow that path. I continued deeper through the mines, and it looked like I outran the undead mobs. Just then, I discovered something along the path, another jade tablet, as well as a new class hat. Score and yoink! I grabbed and equipped the hat, upgrading to the survivalist class. I now had a sweet new tomahawk weapon as well. Nice! Now I can deal extra damage. This was just in time. As the skeletons had caught up to me, I could take this opportunity to test out my new weapon. Time for your bones to crack.
Oh, that was lame.
Take this! I started to use my tomahawk, smacking down each skeleton one by one. This new weapon was able to knock them out very quickly, giving me the upper hand I needed. Before long, I had taken out every last skeleton in the mines. Bon voyage, skeletons! I couldn't rest yet, as just then, the dynamite zombies arrived. Luckily, I was ready with my new tomahawk. Bring it on! I was fighting off the dynamite zombies on days 44 to 46, and thanks to my new gear, I was able to take a few more hits and explosions. You're gonna have to do better than that. Their dynamite was nothing against my new class. I withstood explosion after explosion, hit after hit. Take this, you mindless maggot munchers! I started to slice down each zombie with my tomahawk. They were being cut like cake, falling to my strength, but not everything was going my way this time, as one of the zombies threw a dynamite at a wall, causing it to explode. When the dust settled, a new passageway was revealed. I quickly took out the last of the dynamite zombies and turned my attention to it. I wonder where that leads. Let's keep looking for anything of interest. As I went through the unexplored mines, I eventually found the second jade tablet I was looking for. I picked it up, but I wasn't done just yet. Only one more tablet away from my prize. I wonder what it could be. Just then, a giant skeleton boss emerged from the ground below. They looked angry and ready for a fight.
Who dares enter my mines?
Oh, these are your mines? Well, I'm from the Bureau of Land Management, and
Silence! You die!
worth a try. I braced myself for his upcoming attacks. He was going to be my biggest challenge yet, or so I thought. For the days of 47 to 50, I was face to face with the skeleton boss. We traded blows. I used my tomahawk, but it wasn't as effective on his strong bones as it was on his minions from earlier, proving that he was one of the strongest creatures out there. He was definitely the hardest enemy I had faced so far. I switched to using my gun, trying to tear apart his bony structure, but my bullets were barely scratching him. I couldn't seem to get the upper hand against this guy. Why won't you just go down?
It's gonna take a lot more than some puny cowboy weapons to take me out.
He then fired a powerful arrow barrage at me, leaving me weakened and vulnerable to another attack. I had no choice but to keep moving through the cave to try and escape his domain. But before I left, I turned around with an idea. Hey, ugly, take this! I then threw a Molotov bottle at the skeleton boss. The flames distracted him, as he didn't like the heat. With him preoccupied, I was able to run. As I made my escape, I found myself in a new part of the mines, where a mysterious, strange mask was sitting before me. What is this? Before I had time to pick it up, a dynamite zombie dropped down behind me and attacked. Ow! That's it! I pulled out my tomahawk and struck down the zombie. However, this didn't kill him, just knocked him down to the floor, unable to move. I have an idea. I picked up the strange mask and placed it on the zombie. This caused them to stand up. However, they didn't attack me. I realized that this zombie was now under mind control, and I was in charge. Looks like this mask brings enemies over to my side. All right, zombie, clear the way. The dynamite zombie obeyed my command and started to throw dynamite at the walls of the mine. This caused a new passage to be made, and I now had my exit strategy all thought out. But I still wasn't done down here. The final tablet has to be somewhere. I better keep moving. I had the zombie continue to create new paths for me, opening up new areas for me to search. But I had to be fast before the skeleton boss could catch up to me and end my journey for good. On days 51 to 54, my zombie minion found a new area of the mine. It was filled with jade gems in the walls, ripe for the taking. I must be getting closer to where I need to be. Time to mine. I took out my pickaxe and started to collect some of this untapped jade. In doing so, I found some buried treasure in the form of ironclad armor, hidden behind the walls. A new class. Don't mind if I do. I equipped the armor and was now upgraded to the ironclad class, giving me even more protection. Nice. Maybe now I can take on the skeleton boss. My mining was cut short as lava started to pour into the room. My mining must have disrupted the rocks that was keeping the lava at bay. I had to run before getting swallowed by the lava, but to my surprise, the final jade tablet dropped down from the ceiling, about to be engulfed in lava. Oh no, I gotta grab it! I ran forward and hopped over pouring lava. I quickly snatched the tablet up and ran to a safe area of the mine, where I could place all 3 tablets together side by side. Alright, now time for my prize, right? A new passage was then revealed as the walls opened up in front of me. The hallway was way more extravagant than the other areas of the mines. I knew I had found the right place to go. Finally! That treasure is just ahead.
Thief, you will never have it.
I turned around and was now once again in the presence of the skeleton boss. Can't you just leave me alone?
You disturbed my home.
Fair point. The skeleton shot an arrow attack, striking me. I had no choice but to prepare for battle once again. On days 55 through 57, I was armed with my ironclad armor and ready to face off against the skeleton boss once again. He charged at me and fired his magic arrow attacks, overwhelming me with his power. But thanks to my class upgrade, I was able to withstand his hits, although his speed was still throwing me off, for he was able to land blow after blow easily. I fought back as best I could, using everything I had. My gun still only scratched him, and my tomahawk wasn't much better. But the skeleton boss did seem to react to the fire caused by my arson skills. In the midst of battle, though, I saw something hiding at the end of the fancy passageway. It was a jade sword, and just the thing I needed to give me the edge on this battle. That's it! I'm getting my treasure! I swept past the massive boss and made my way over to the jade sword, grabbing it for myself. I could feel my strength grow now that I had such a legendary weapon in my hands. The skeleton boss was furious at what just happened.
Get him, my minions.
Almost out of nowhere, more skeletons rushed into the room, swarming the area. They wasted no time and started to attack me. I struck back with my new sword, taking them down with ease. To my surprise, the skeletons started to resurrect. However, they wouldn't attack me once reborn. Interesting. I wonder. Skeletons, attack!
Wait, what?
The skeletons then started to give their attention to the main boss, turning to him. This jade sword converts fallen enemies to be my own allies. They started to weaken the skeleton boss, and I could take the opportunity to charge up, ready to strike the final blow. I rushed over to him and swung my sword, striking him down once and for all with the power of jade. The skeleton boss died by my hand. However, his spirit was still too strong for the jade mind control to take effect. That's a shame. He would have been a great ally. Before I could take another breath, though, the area began to tremble around me. Oh no, this place is going down! I have to get out of here! I ran through the mines on days 58 through 61 as it was collapsing around me, dodging rocks and stone as I moved through the pathways. After lots of running through the caves, I saw the exit of the tunnel. I made a break for it and miraculously made it out of the mines before the last rock fell, sealing away the mine shaft forever. Good thing I got this jade sword from all of that. Before I started to leave, I saw something poking out from the debris. I picked it up and realized it was another diary entry from Nikola Tesla. Man, this guy was really into writing in his diary. I can respect that. Plus, it helps me learn what had happened with him. As I read the entry, I imagined I was in the same room as Nikola Tesla.
Everything has gone terribly wrong. Agent 15 has seeped into Tesla labs, infecting my top scientists. They aren't human anymore. They're zombies.
Called it. I mean, it wasn't hard to piece together. Anyone with common sense could have seen this coming.
Even as I write this diary, I am locked in my lab as hordes of infected men try to reach me. I'm going to die here. I have to remove my brain. It's my only hope of living on.
Wait, that's the backup plan?
If you are somehow reading this, warn the men at Fort Constitution. Do not open the shipments of Agent 15. It isn't a miracle bioweapon. It's a poison.
As I read the last word, I snapped back to reality. I knew Nikola Tesla created the zombies, causing this apocalypse. But that still doesn't explain why he's evil. What happened to him? Is it because he removed his brain? I have to find the next diary entry and find out. I decided to follow the lead from the diary entry. It was time for me to make a visit to Fort Constitution. Now, where did I park that train? On days 62 to 64, I returned to the train, only to find Ranger under attack by some zombies. Hey, leave my buddy alone, you undead brain eaters! I jumped into battle, slicing them down with my tomahawk and taking barely any damage thanks to my new armor set. And stay dead! I defeated them all, saving my friend. However, when I examined my train, it was looking a bit battle-scarred from the zombie attack. I need to reinforce this train if I want to make sure Ranger stays safe. Maybe I could find something useful around here. I hopped on Ranger and began looking for resources. We scavenged through Sterling once more, this time looking for materials to fix the train. We finally came across a bank with an open vault door. Before we could grab the loot, I started to hear the familiar sound of the undead. There were zombies and skeletons starting to appear. Why can't things just be easy for me? Ranger, you start collecting the gold. I'll take care of these freaks. I started to fend off the undead horde, while Ranger continued to grab anything that we could use to upgrade the train. I was able to take down these monsters easily, thanks to all my class upgrades. When all the threats were slayed, I spotted something very enticing under a nearby structure. Wait, what's that? When I took a closer look, I realized it was a new helmet. Could this be another class upgrade? I quickly snatched up the helmet and put it on, unlocking the Alamo class. I knew it! Just then, new items started to appear around me, including coal, food, and many more useful items that I could use to upgrade my train. This is exactly what I needed. Time to get to work. Ranger and I went back to the train and started reinforcing it with everything I had. We also made it faster and upgraded the framework so it could take more hits without breaking. After a bit more adjusting, the train was completed. Looking good. I guess let's hit the road. Before we left though, Ranger tried getting my attention. What are you doing, buddy? Ranger then threw down a shotgun, giving me a weapon upgrade. Nice! This will come in handy. Thank you, my friend. We both hopped on the train, and as we were about to set off, I spotted something in the distance, running away. It looked like a horse, but with a distinct feature. Is that a unicorn? I have to catch it and get its bounty. I then started up the train and chased after the mythical creature as it galloped away. For the days of 65 to 67, Ranger and I were chasing after the runaway unicorn, trying to match its speed and agility. We almost got him! As we were getting close, the unicorn made a hard right, away from the tracks. With no other options, we left the train and pursued on foot. As we chased, we started to approach a canyon, leading the unicorn into a trap. It'll have nowhere to run now. To my surprise, the unicorn used its magical powers to create a rainbow bridge over the canyon, letting it pass over the gap with ease. Uh-oh. Speed up, Ranger. My horse ran as fast as he could, making it onto the bridge. However, the bridge started to collapse behind us. Uh-oh, we gotta move. Ranger's speed started to skyrocket as he was determined to get to the other side. We're gonna make it! The last of the bridge disappeared, but Ranger and I made it across. Yeah, you did it! I can't believe it! We had no time to celebrate though. The unicorn was still on the run. We couldn't let it get away. That bounty was too great to miss out on. Maybe this'll work. I pointed my gun towards the speedy unicorn and started to fire, but Ranger intervened and started to jump around frantically. No guns, Ranger? Okay, let's get back to the train then. This animal is too tough to keep up with. Suddenly, the unicorn stopped and used its magical powers to open up a portal in front of us.
If you step through this portal, you will find yourself at Fort Constitution.
Whoa, are you rewarding me? But why?
You chose to be a pacifist, therefore you may reap your reward.
The unicorn then galloped away, disappearing into the horizon. I may not have gotten gold, but now I'm one step closer to the truth. Ranger and I then prepared ourselves and stepped through the portal. On days 68 to 72, we stepped out of the portal and arrived at Fort Constitution. Before I could take a better look around, cannons started to fire at me from nearby towers. I looked up to see where they were coming from, and it was zombies at the top of the towers. What's going on? Soon enough, none other than Captain Prescott dropped down in front of me.
I told you I'd find you. Your journey ends here.
Ranger, go grab the train and bring it back to us. I'll fend this guy off. Ranger left the area, and without warning, the zombie captain rushed toward me. He started swinging his sword at me, starting his attack. I had to fight back and use my jade sword and tomahawk to slash at him. The captain continued to use his sword to try and cut me down. The zombies on the nearby towers would also fire off their cannons to try and disorient me, but I was able to use my Molotovs to make explosions of my own. As the fight went on, it seemed like I was doing good damage, but due to the excessive explosions from the towers, I was getting close to death.
You won't live to see another day!
No, I won't give up here. With no other option, I ran into the compound and over the tower holding the cannons. I started to climb up it, and once it got to the top, I blasted the zombie minion controlling it and took control.
Stay away from those!
I didn't listen and started to fire his cannon. He was now becoming weak from all the explosions. I fired all I had at him until I finally ran out of ammo.
No! I can't lose to a human like you!
You just did. I then pulled out my jade sword and jumped off the tower, striking him down with one final blow, ending the zombie captain's reign of terror once and for all. Upon Prescott's death, he dropped a map, so I grabbed it. Tesla Lab? Wait, the final secrets about Tesla's past must be hidden here.
And you'll never unveil them.
I turned around and was face to face with Nikola Tesla himself, hovering over me, menacingly. For the days of 73 to 75, I was in a standoff with Nikola Tesla.
I have to say, for a common human, you've been stirring up a lot of trouble.
Maybe I'm not as common as you think.
Even so, I can't let you live another moment interfering with my plans. If you get that cure, everything will be for nothing.
Do you even hear yourself? The cure is a good thing. No more zombies.
Not the way I see it. The zombies are the way of the future.
You're even more crazy than I thought you were.
Happy to impress.
Whatever. I'm not going down without a fight.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
And just like that, Tesla charged forward and hit me with a devastating smash attack, followed by him shooting his laser at me. I tried to fight back with my jade sword, swinging at him, hoping to break his skin, but his armored body was too strong. I couldn't even scratch through him. He continued to retaliate with blow after blow, weakening me even more. In this state, there was no way I could defeat him. I needed more upgrades if I wanted to best Nikola in battle. I have to get back to the train. It's the only way. Tesla followed after me, and I ran out of Fort Constitution and back towards the train tracks. As I ran, I soon found where Ranger had parked the train. It was far though, and Nikola was hot on my trail, not letting me go that easily.
Get back here, you puny human!
The evil scientist then charged up his laser attack and fired a powerful plasma cannon at me. I was able to leap out of the way. As the wagons disintegrated, underneath was revealed, and there was a conductor hat. That might come in handy. I ran over and snagged the hat, and once I put it on, I had achieved the conductor class. Now my train could move much faster. Time to blow this popsicle stand.
You won't escape.
I quickly got the train going. As I jumped on, we started moving faster and were able to ride away before Nikola Tesla could get to us. Thanks to my new class, we were safe for now, but I knew that we were now being hunted by the mad genius, and we needed to be even more careful. I better see what's at Tesla Lab before Nikola gets there first. On days 76 to 79, I followed the map through the west until I arrived at the Tesla Lab. Just as I suspected, it was completely abandoned and left in ruin. Time to find that last diary entry. I hopped off the train and started to search the area. I was looking outside, and I found another entry to Tesla's diary next to one of the entrances. Time for the truth to be revealed. As I read the words, I could imagine everything being said by Tesla.
I don't know how much time has passed, but my plan to preserve my brain was a success. I am now in a new body, one that's stronger than even my previous one. The past is fuzzy, but the zombies around me are docile, obeying my every command. This must have been my plan all along. I remember now. I always wanted power.
I don't think he's right about that.
Yes, in my new ultimate form, I'll spread Agent 15 and take over the world. Nothing will stop me. The world will soon bow to the name Nikola Tesla.
As I read the last word, my imagination faded, and I was now haunted by the truth of the past. I understand now. Nikola went crazy after getting his new body. He's not himself. Suddenly, a swarm of lab zombies came out from the surrounding buildings. I had been spotted, and I needed to get out of here. I tried to fight them off, using any of my shotgun weapons, but these zombies were coming in droves. There's too many of them! One of the scientist zombies dropped a key card, and I used it to open the door to the main building of Tesla Labs. When I got inside, I quickly shut the door to hopefully keep the zombies out for now. While inside, I found an interesting gun that was concealed in a glass case. What is that? I gotta have it! Before I could try and grab the weapon, the lab zombies started to break into the building. I acted fast and broke the glass case to get the new gun in my hands. Hope you guys brought napkins, cause it's about to get messy. I started blasting the zombies left and right. This gun was something else, shooting lasers instead of bullets. Whoa, the electrocutioner, huh? I could get used to this. After zapping the last of the zombies, I escaped to the lab building, all thanks to my new weapon. But as I made my way back to the train, I saw the sky started to turn red. I rushed over to my train as the blood moon rose, but to my shock, the train was missing. I need to find cover, now! For the days of 80 to 83, I was running as fast as I could, following the train tracks to find my train. I wasn't able to find it, but instead, I discovered there was a massive castle. Maybe I can hide here until morning. I quickly took cover inside of the castle, but I soon found out I wasn't alone. I hid as fast as I could and realized it was the Vampire King and his men having a meeting.
The blood moon is upon us. It is time for the fun to begin.
What about the almighty weapon, my lord?
No human has ever invaded our castle and lived to see another day. I wouldn't worry your pretty little head about it.
Oh, you think I'm pretty, my lord?
What? No, it's just an expression.
Oh.
Weapon, huh? If I can stealth past these monsters, I might get the edge I need to stop Nikola Tesla. I laid low in search of the mysterious weapon. I snuck around, careful not to be seen, moving from one hiding spot to another. It wasn't long until I found a building with my prize locked up behind a case, the vampire knife. I slowly approached the weapon, but before I could grab the knife, the building entrance was torn open by the Vampire King.
Intruder!
The Vampire King then used his powerful blood magic on my body. Ow! What the heck, man? I could feel a power flow through me. I thought I was gonna die, but to my surprise, I got the vampire class.
What? You should be dead.
This power, it's unlike anything I have ever felt. You'll pay for that.
You can never defeat me. Bring it on.
We charged into one another, starting our intense battle. On days 84 to 86, I was clashing with the Vampire King, using my new powers to match his. The king then used his blood attacks, shooting needles of red at me. I fought back with my own blood slashes, trying to slow him down. I also noticed that thanks to my new class, I could take more hits without getting seriously injured.
You're proving to be tougher than I expected. Time for me to bring it up a notch.
The Vampire King then morphed into a bat monster, bigger than any of the other vampires. Impressive, but you're still going down. I had to do something quick before I became his next victim. I rushed over to the vampire knife and broke down its cage to then grab it. I now had an advantage in the battle, since this knife was made of pure silver. We continued our fight. I was able to land a few cuts on the bat monster. I now had the upper hand. I won't fall here. I'm getting that cure.
Not while I'm alive.
That's the idea. I then jumped at the Vampire King, striking him down once and for all.
Everyone, we gotta get out of here.
I watched as the vampire army ran away in fear. Yeah, that's what I thought. Run away, you cowards. The sun began to rise, and I quickly realized I was in trouble. Oh, that's why they were running. To my horror, my skin started to burn from the sun. I had to find my train quickly, so as to not take any more sun damage. On days 87 to 89, I ran until I found my train and took cover inside to avoid the sun. I'll wait until nightfall to continue my journey. I waited all day for night to return. When it did, I began traveling by train. However, all was not well as my train grinded to a halt. Oh no, looks like I'm out of fuel. Better start searching. Before I could finish my thought, I heard werewolves howling in the distance. I'll need some speed just in case I get ambushed by werewolves. Ranger, let's go! Ranger jumped off the train and I hopped on his back. We rode into the night, looking for fuel and to outrun the werewolves. I may be a vampire, but traveling at night is much more dangerous. I better make this quick. As we rode, werewolves began to appear in our way. I used my new electrocutioner weapon to take down the werewolves in our way. There were loads of them popping left and right, but thanks to Ranger's speed and my sharpshooting skills, we were able to fend them off. Come on, fuel has to be around here somewhere. After a bit of searching, I finally managed to find a town. Within one of the buildings of the town, we found fuel for the train. Just as I was gathering it though, a zombie I had missed attacked me from behind.
Fresh.
I struck him down, but I was too late. The zombie had bitten me. I was starting to become infected with the virus. My skin started to turn green as I gained the zombie class. Wait, this is a new class? What sort of powers do I have? I then started to feel a rush of hunger consume my mind, and my focus was pulled towards Ranger. Flesh. Ranger then hit me, snapping me out of it before I could start to attack him. Yikes! I can't stay like this. I need to find a cure before I hurt someone I care about. I'm sorry, Ranger, but for now, we'll have to part ways. I left Ranger for now to continue my search alone. I now needed to find a way to remove the zombie class imbued onto me. As I traveled for days 90 to 92, I was trying to find a way to keep my hunger at bay. I wandered into another town. Spotting more zombies, I braced myself for battle. But to my surprise, the zombies didn't seem to recognize me anymore. As long as I don't get too close, they think I'm just one of them. Just have to act like a zombie. Brains. I walked slowly through the town, mimicking the movements of the zombies, until I made it to a doctor's office. I started to search all around for any sort of medical supplies that could help me. I tried any medicine I found, chugging strange vial after vial, but nothing seemed to work. I was still a zombie. I guess none of this stuff has an effect on me anymore. Suddenly, one of the zombies walked into the doctor's office.
Hey bro, have you seen any outlaws around here?
No. But if I do, I'll let you know.
Wait a minute. Why do you look different from the rest of us?
Oh, I'm one of those new type of zombies.
Oh yeah? Which type?
Monster type?
That doesn't make any sense. I know what you are. You're a phony. Hey everyone, this guy's a phony.
Be quiet! Before the zombie could let his friends know about me, I attacked him. They went down easily with my gun. But when I killed him, my hunger started to consume me. Flesh! I then ate the zombie, suddenly healing myself in the process. It was then that I realized the zombie class let me eat other zombies for more health. I'll take the good with the bad and the ugly, but I still need to find a way to cure this. I then noticed that the zombie had dropped a paper. I picked it up and found that it was a recipe for a temporary cure. It's worth a shot. Time to look for the ingredients. I started to scour the town for days 93 to 95. I was looking for the 3 ingredients listed for the temporary cure: zombie flesh, snake oil, and a tumbleweed. I ran into a few zombies next to the pond while searching. Perfect! I quickly shot both of them and gathered up as much flesh as I could, restraining myself from eating it. Next up, snake oil. I went back into the doctor's office, hoping I might have missed finding some snake oil earlier, and luckily I was able to find some on the counter. Nice! Alright, and finally, a tumbleweed. Just as I exited the building, a tumbleweed blew by me, and the chase was on. I started trying to catch the tumbleweed, but it was quick in the wind. I couldn't seem to catch it. Hold still! After a bit, I was able to corner the plant on a structure. I grabbed it before it could blow away again. Now I had obtained all 3 ingredients I needed. All right, here goes nothing. I used the nearby crafting bench and combined the items into a bottle to make the concoction. I drank it up, but instead of returning back to my human self, I turned into a horse. I achieved the horse class. What in the Emperor's New Groove is this? Some kind of joke? Suddenly, a blood moon rose, and night then fell upon me, causing werewolves and vampires to spawn nearby. I had to find cover quickly. I need to get back to the train before I'm caught. On days 96 to 98, I was trying to survive the night as a horse. Without any of my weapons at my disposal, I was forced to find a way to take cover, hiding from building to building, as the werewolves and vampires were trying to sniff me out for their hunt. But all my effort was for nothing when I was caught by a werewolf.
Dinner.
Ah! I ran, using my horse speed to my advantage, trying to escape the threat. As I was running, I thought I saw a strange android in the distance, but I couldn't slow down to take a good look. Did you find all the secrets? Be sure to rewatch the video and find them all. While running, I accidentally hit a huge tower of hay bales, blocking the road and slowing the werewolf down enough for me to get some distance. Just as I made it to the tracks, my train pulled up next to me. Ranger was there waiting for me, confused at what he was seeing.
Ronzo, is that you?
It's a long story. Hopefully this cure wears off soon. As if right on cue, I returned to my human form. No longer a vampire or a zombie. Whew, just my luck. Without any hesitation, we pulled out of the town and continued on towards our final destination. After a while, Ranger and I pulled into the outlaws' town, where a massive bridge stood between myself and the cure. This is it! Time to lower the bridge! I ran over and pulled the lever. On day 99, the bridge lowered, but it would take some time before completely hitting the ground. Suddenly, the ground around me began to tremble. Oh no, something's coming! Suddenly, hordes of enemies, including zombies, werewolves, vampires, and more, approached the area. They all came swarming into the town to a final attempt to stop me. I hopped onto Ranger and used his speed to take down my enemies, one after another. Using my arsenal of weapons I've acquired over my journey, I managed to strike down every monster that stood in my way. The monsters realized I was winning and began to run away from the area. They're starting to retreat. We got this! Things were looking good until a vampire bat beast swooped overhead, knocking me off my horse. The bat closed in on me. Ranger came charging at it, hitting him with his hooves. The bad monster then struck Ranger, killing him instantly. Ranger, no! You'll pay for that! Rage consumed me as I continued to fight on foot. I was determined to avenge my old friend. The battle was tough, but I used all of my weapons and powers and defeated the vampire bat monster. Just then, the bridge finally fully lowered. I'm sorry, Ranger. I'll get that cure. I promise. The ground shook as Nikola Tesla, the mastermind behind all of this, walked across the bridge and over to me. Finally, it was day 100, and after a long journey, I was face to face with the abomination that was Nikola Tesla.
You're the little outlaw that has been stirring up trouble, ruining my plans for world domination.
You don't understand. I found your diary entries. You weren't always evil. Look, I tossed all of the diary entries over to him. You were a scientist trying to make a new bioweapon. It went wrong and...
Enough!
Tesla then shot a laser at the books, burning them to a crisp instantly.
I don't have time for this. You are not getting that cure.
I braced myself for battle as Nikola attacked me. He was now a lost cause, and I had no choice but to fight him. He used his laser attack, as well as his ground pound to shake the ground around us. This proved that he was far more powerful than anything I had gone up against so far. I fought back with everything I had, using every class advantage that I could, throwing fire everywhere, and trying to blast Tesla out of existence. But nothing was working. He was too strong. Not even my jade sword could pierce through his skin, but I had come too far to give up now and let him win.
Once you're gone, the world will be mine.
Not if I have something to say about it. I hit him with everything I had, injuring him badly. I now had the upper hand. I knocked him down once and for all. Yes, the cure is mine.
Not so fast.
Nikola suddenly used a surprise attack, zapping me and my train with all his power. I felt something strange was happening to my body. What did you do?
I'm turning you into my latest creation. A last bit of cruel irony for running from me on that blasted train for so long. Have fun, Charles.
Nikola Tesla then died from exhaustion. I had won, but there was no time to celebrate as I disappeared along with my train. On day 1, I spawned in as the infamous Choo Choo Charles in an underground cavern. I was surrounded by a bunch of minecarts and miners. Where am I? Suddenly, a middle-aged man in a gold suit started shouting.
The beast is awake! Quickly, take the eggs to a safe place!
Yes, sir, Warren. Huh? What eggs? I was confused, but a part of me knew they were taking something special away from me. Ah! I started attacking the miners, and I discovered I had a cool lightning ability to use on them. They all started running out of the cave, and the man in the suit started shouting again.
Do it! Don't let that thing out alive!
Setting off the detonator, sir! Suddenly, explosions started going off around me, and the cave started collapsing. I was buried in rocks, and everything went dark. Huh? What happened? A while later, I woke up outside, covered in gravel. I guess I should do some exploring. As I was wandering around, I realized I was getting hungry. I went looking for food and came across a village. Yummy people. I went straight in and started killing. I left the whole village empty and ate all of their meat. Better get out of here before more witnesses arrive. On day 2, I decided if I was gonna survive in this place, I would need a base to hide out in. Better get to work. First, I started gathering some wood to make a crafting bench and wooden pickaxe. Then I went mining to gather stone and made myself a full set of stone tools, such as an axe, pickaxe, and sword. Hey, some coal. Sweet! I kept mining until I found myself a nice spacious cavern. I added some chests, furnaces, and torches for my light, and then I was ready to start planning. I need to figure out what those eggs were about. I started by leaving my base and exploring around to try to find clues. I kept searching until I came came across a sign that said, "Welcome to Iranirum." I guess that must be the island I'm on. I kept moving, and from a distance, I spotted an outpost. I got closer and realized it was full of people who were wearing masks that looked like my face. Huh? I wonder if I'm a god to them or something. Guess you'll have to keep watching to find out. I entered the outpost, and they looked at me in awe. They were amazed by my presence. Hey, who gave you those masks? Why are you wearing them?
It was given to us by Warren. He's the owner of the mining company.
Warren? That's the guy who tried to kill me.
Hey, calm down, buddy. Trying to kill you was Warren's idea, not ours.
I went into a rage and started killing them all, but they shot back at me with guns. Eventually, I was able to kill them all off. Maybe I should have asked them where the eggs were hidden. Oh well. It was day 3, and I kept traveling until I found a little fishing village on the coast of the island. I came across a fisherman named Greg, who didn't really seem afraid of me for some reason.
Yeah, our town primarily relied on tourism and fishing for revenue, but now they have both dried up.
Interesting. I decided that if I helped the village find the source of their problem, maybe they could give me some info on where Warren and the cultists took the eggs. Do you know the cause of the ocean and tourism drying up?
Well, in order to keep up with Warren Charles' demands, the villagers were forced to overfish in this area, preventing any significant population from returning.
So everyone is trying to stop this Warren guy, huh?
Well, no. Warren has shifted the blame onto other creatures who roam the land, such as yourself.
Others?
Yeah. The rumor is that there are other spooky dudes like you out there, but I've never seen them.
Well, my memory has been wiped. Do you think you could paint a picture for me on how all of this began?
Sure. Here's what I know to be true.
On day 4, Greg was telling me the story of how things came to be here on the island.
Warren and his crew traveled to this island to find gold and other precious resources, or at least that's what they thought they were looking for. They dug and dug for weeks on end, but they couldn't find anything. One day, however, they opened up a hole into a huge cavern. The others don't believe me, but I know Warren came looking for something else. Those darn eggs, I tell you.
What happened next?
They were slaughtered by something that looks sort of like you, but less train-like. Warren barely escaped with his life. If you let Warren harness the power of those eggs, he'll become far too powerful. You need to stop him.
Do you have any idea where I could find the eggs?
Yeah, I checked the swamplands not too far from here.
Okay, thanks, Greg.
Until we meet again.
On days 5 and 6, I headed back home into the mines. At one point, I took a wrong turn and stumbled upon a cave spider nest. Huh? What happened here? The whole place had been torched by cultists with flamethrowers, and they were still here.
We are graced by your presence, Lord.
Back off, you freaks! I started tearing up the cultists, and they fought me off with their flamethrowers. I used my lightning and sword to fight them off, and they caught me on fire a few times, but I was able to survive and whip them all out. The mother spider was dead, but one little spider egg still remained. Suddenly, it started hatching.
Hello.
Oh my goodness, you're so cute! You're my best friend now, and your name is Jeff. Don't worry, little guy. I'll keep you safe from now on.
My name's Jeff.
I took Jeff back to my base and made him a little room.
I love it. I'm hungry though.
How does roasted cultist sound?
Yum!
After we were done eating, I had some questions for Jeff. You don't happen to know anything about an ancient mother spider, do you?
Not really. I just got born. But I do remember my mama saying that the ancient spider still roams the island to this day.
Maybe if I find her, I can get some answers. You watch over the base for me, will you, champ?
You got it, boss.
With that, I headed out for adventure. One you won't want to miss, so be sure to stay until the end. On days 7 and 8, I went out looking for iron, and I was gonna need lots of it. I searched and searched, but it seemed like all the island's resources had been drained. Warren! I headed back to the surface empty-handed and started looking around for some clues. Eventually, I made it to a place that looked like a scrapyard, but it seemed empty. There's gotta be some iron scrap around here somewhere. I searched around and came across a big pile of iron blocks. Haha! Perfect! I started breaking some down for myself, and I gathered enough to make myself a full set of iron armor and tools. Suddenly, a man who looked like a cowboy came out of a building. Who are you?
The name's Tony Tittle, and you're in my scrapyard.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll just be going now.
Not so fast. You're wearing my scraps.
He took out a powerful looking gun and pointed it at me. He started firing at me with his gun, and it was super overpowered. I tried fighting him off with my powers, but the gun was too strong. Even with my armor upgrades, it was hurting me too much. I had no choice but to escape. I'm out of here. Eventually, I made it to a safe spot. Phew! Whew, that was a close one. I wonder if Tony's working with Warren too. With that, I headed back towards home to tell Jeff about my adventures. On days 9 and 10, I was traveling home when I heard a mysterious voice talking and decided to investigate. Over the horizon, I spotted Steve talking with some guy I didn't recognize. What's all this about?
Alright, what kind of beast are we dealing with here?
It's some kind of half-train, half-demon spider thing.
Huh, they must be talking about me. Good things, I hope.
I'll see what I can do to eradicate it.
Eradicate? Does that mean kill?
Maybe I could talk to some folks around the island for info on how to kill it.
I knew it!
The key is the eggs. If you could get all 3 and use the altar, you could destroy all the eggs together and defeat the beast.
The eggs, you say? Are there more than 3 eggs?
I only know of 3, but I wouldn't doubt it. You only need 3 for the ritual.
Thank you for the info, Eugene. I'll go prepare in case I encounter the freak.
Eugene, huh?
Oh, and one more thing, Steve. If I die, please find my son, Paul.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
With that, Steve and Eugene went their separate ways. On days 11 through 13, I was following Eugene. I followed him all the way to the train yard. He had his own little shed there, and he started working at his workbench. I snuck up behind him. Hello, Eugene.
You're that creature! Have you been following me? What do you want?
Tell me this. Do you work for Warren?
No, I used to be one of his mining supervisors, but after I had an encounter with a beast like you, I quit. Now I spend my days trying to stop Warren and his nasty plot.
Do you know what he wants with the eggs?
Warren seems to think the eggs could be an alternate source of power, and harnessing this power will allow him to keep all the wealth for himself.
Bring me to Warren. I will stop him myself.
Oh no way. I may be against Warren, but I'm even more against you.
Suddenly he pulled out a gun and started shooting at me. I quickly made waste of him. I felt an odd feeling within me. Suddenly I sprouted legs and gained 5 hearts. Awesome! I bet I can get even cooler stuff later. Watch the whole video to see what I become. That's a shame though. I wasn't going to kill him. I searched through his shed and found a little booklet. What's this? Warren isn't a bad guy. He's trying to stop the beast from killing everyone on this island. He's trusted me with hiding one of the eggs. Please support us, Eugene. Gail. Welp, looks like I gotta find Gail now. On days 14 through 17, I made it back home to check up on Jeff.
Hey, I missed you. Nice legs.
Aw, I missed you too, buddy. Got any news for me?
Well, from the echoes in the mines, I heard a voice, but it didn't sound human. I was too scared to check it out.
Smart move, my guy. I'll check out that later. But for now, let's fix this place up, shall we?
We shall.
We started to work, modifying our base. First, I added another room and added some stone brick details around it. La-dee-dee, la-dee-doo, la-dee-dum, working hard. Next, I used some of my leftover iron to make lanterns for the base.
Hey, Bronzo, I made some of my own webs for decoration.
Oh, gross, but awesome. Finally, I added some furniture to finish it off. Looking good, eh, Jeff? Okay, now I'm gonna go investigate the voice you heard earlier. I traveled into the mines, and eventually I came across some mine carts and rails. Hello? Anyone here?
Ooh.
Ah! I turned around to see an actual ghost. Whoa, you scared me.
Gotcha! It must be Choo Choo Charles. All the miners have been on the lookout for you.
And you are?
The name's Philip, but you can call me Phil.
What are you doing here, Phil?
Well, I used to work for Warren until he shot me. Now I haunt these mines for eternity.
Why did he kill you?
I was going to expose to the world how much energy these eggs could produce, and Warren did not like that.
Interesting. Will you help me take him down?
Let me think about it. Yeah, of course I will. He murdered me in cold blood.
With that, I led Phil back to the base. On days 18 through 21, Phil and I arrived back at the base.
Ah, look out! There's a ghost behind you!
No, Jeff, this is Phil. Phil, Jeff. Phil is here to help us get revenge on Warren. I gave Phil the spare room with no bed.
Yeah, I don't really need sleep, so I'm good on that.
Alright, well, you two have fun. I'm off to find that first egg. With that, I set out towards the swamplands, since that's where that guy Greg said one would be. But would it really be there? Stay tuned to find out. When I got to the swamp, I came across a witch brewing something.
Hello there, freak.
Hi, what are you doing?
I'm making myself a fresh stew with delicious ingredients from around the swamp.
Interesting.
I'd offer for you to try some, but it's not finished.
Oh, really? It smells divine.
I'm missing the meat, but I can smell some just over there. Will you grab some for me while I tend to my brew? I'll give you something nice.
Sounds easy enough. I'll be right back.
Oh, and one more thing, dear. Look out for Barry, the swamp monster.
Okay. Will do. On days 22 through 25, I was looking through the swamp for some meat. Food! I need meat! What's a guy gotta do to get some meat around here? Out of nowhere, a group of zombies with fungus coming out of their heads came out and started attacking me. Luckily, I was ready for them with my sword and lightning powers. They were tough and shot poison spores, but eventually I was able to beat them all. Sheesh! What's the deal with those guys? I came to the edge of the swamp, and across the way, I spotted some cows. Meat! Standing between me and the meat was a large body of water. Seems easy enough. Everything was going fine until suddenly I was hit by something from underneath the water. Ah! Something touched me! I quickly hurried to the other side. When out of the water rose Barry, the swamp monster.
Get out of my swamp!
Well, technically, I am out of your swamp now, but I need to go back in.
No!
I just need to bring some meat to the witch so she will help me find the egg that's hidden here.
Oh, you mean the egg that idiot with the gold suit left lying there? That thing is mine now.
Well, I guess I have no choice but to fight you now. Barry threw a trident straight towards me. Luckily, he missed, but he didn't stop chasing me. I struck him back with my sword and lightning abilities. Give me the egg!
No, it's mine!
Finally, I was able to beat Barry, and he dropped the blue egg. Yes! 1 down, 2 to go. With that, I killed the cows who were still hanging out nearby and brought the meat back to the witch. Between days 26 and 29, I made it back to the witch's hut and gave her some of the meat I had collected, keeping a little for myself.
I must congratulate you on finding the first primordial egg.
Oh, thanks. It really wasn't that hard. Wait a minute. How did you know that?
I know many things, Bronzo. I know all and see all on this island.
Good to know. But that wasn't all she had to say.
You must take it to one of the altars scattered around the island. There you will harness the primordial egg's power. As a reward for having a sweet young thing like myself, I'll give you this, a warded tungsten shield.
Wow, it's heavy.
Yes, one of the heaviest and densest metals found in nature.
What does it do?
It should protect you from most projectiles. Now go, before I decide to put a hex on you. A lady needs her beauty sleep.
All right, I'll be leaving then. Thanks again, Granny.
Yes, of course, anytime.
Choo-choo! I set out looking around the island and found another one of Warren Company's mining outposts. Maybe one of these miners or cultists will know. So anyway, I started blasting. The miners could barely get close to me, but the cultists shot from a vantage point, making it hard for me to get them. Ow, ow, ow! Stop that! They hurt! Once the slaughter was finished, only one single cultist remained alive. I approached as maniacally as possible.
Please, just let me go. I'll give you anything you want. Just please.
All I want is a little bit of info. I asked him about the locations of the nearest altars. He said that he knew just 2. The main one at the center of the island, called the Nexus, and another one just nearby to the west.
The Nexus requires all 3 primordial eggs to power it, but the altar only needs 1. It doesn't produce as much power, though.
Okay, this is all very useful. Thanks for the information. You've been a great help.
So, I get to live, right?
Oh, I don't remember making any promises like that. Heading west, I arrived at the altar and placed the blue egg atop it. Once placed, it began to grow a bright light as a beam shot into the sky. What is this feeling? The power of the blue primordial egg transformed me into a more powerful version of myself. I grew even larger and gained a teleport ability. Ha ha ha! I'm massive! Warren's gonna pay. On days 30 through 33, I was heading back to the base when I ran into Steve.
Well. You must be the freak I'm looking for.
Get out of my way, or you won't be returning home tonight either.
You know I can't do that.
Steve started blasting me with big guns and explosives. They really hurt. I used my teleport power to avoid his hits as much as I could, and my lightning to fight back. Eventually, Steve fell back.
Enough of this. I know where you live now, and I'll come back even stronger next time.
Phew, that was a close call. When I got back to the base, Jeff was enamored by my size.
Wow, you're huge.
Yep. Hey, speaking of spiders, you don't happen to remember any relatives of yours that might be alive, do you?
Well, there is a rumor of a spider village somewhere deep within the island. Maybe look for that.
All right, thanks for the info, buddy. With that, I made my way deep into the caverns of the island. As I ventured in, I was attacked by some monsters. They tried to bring me down, but I put up a good fight and killed them off. All right, time to keep moving. As I traveled deeper, I noticed more and more cobwebs began to appear around the walls. I must be getting closer. On days 34 through 37, the caves opened up into a larger cavern, and there was a whole city full of spiders of all different kinds. Eventually, I got spotted, and the Spider Queen came down to greet me.
Excuse me, what are you doing here?
I'm just looking for answers about what's going on this island. I was hoping I could speak with you.
You're going to reveal the location of our lair to those savage miners from the surface.
What? No! The Spider Queen charged at me and started biting me with her venomous fangs. The spiders from around the area formed a circle as we fought. She was very powerful, but so was I. And eventually it ended in a stalemate. Please, listen to me. I'm just looking for answers.
Okay, fine. What do you want to know?
Tell me the story of Warren and his people coming to this island, from your perspective.
Centuries ago, this island was abundantly full of valuable resources. That is, until the settlers from across the world came here to strip the island of its treasures. Over the years, the island did not take too kindly to this behavior. It created monsters to try to dissuade the travelers from taking more. This didn't deter them, however, and they kept coming until the island was fully drained. But what they hadn't discovered were the eggs buried deep beneath the surface. That is, until Warren took control. Now he's here trying to harness the power of the eggs. You are nothing but a guardian of our Nero, just like the ancient spider.
Do you know what happened to the ancient spider?
Nobody knows for sure, but they're believed to be reincarnated.
So, it's my job to defend the island and protect its resources?
Well, it's too late for resources. But maybe you can still stop Warren from ruining things further.
Okay, thank you for your help, Your Majesty.
If you ever need my help with anything else, you know where to find me.
Between days 38 and 41, I realized that I was struggling to keep up. One wrong move with those guns and I'd be done for. I need to find a way to get diamonds, so I'm better prepared for future encounters. I figured Warren must have loads of diamonds in one of his camps, so I started traveling around the island searching for camps, but none of the camps I came across had any diamonds. Time for a new plan. Just then, I remembered my old buddy Greg. Greg'll know where the diamonds are. I traveled back to Greg's house, and he was a bit frightened by my legs, but still surprisingly okay with it.
Whoa, hey there now. I'm gonna stay behind this window if it's all the same.
I'd expect nothing more from you, Greg. So, where can I find diamonds?
Well, the Warren Co. has a few large factories scattered throughout the island. You'll want to check those out. You'll know it when you see it.
All right, thanks, Greg. What a guy.
Oh, by the way, you might want to be on the lookout. Warren started working on an army of creatures.
An army?
Yeah, folks like you. Rumor has it he's gonna use them for world domination.
Oh boy, I better get moving. I thanked Greg and headed out for the closest Warren Company factory. During my travels, I ran into a woman by the name of Wimberly.
Hello there, traveler. There be a ghost who haunts these lands.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, yes, a spooky ghost.
Yeah, I know one actually.
This one leaves behind little papers. If you can collect all 8 papers during your travels and bring them back to me, I will give you a reward.
Oh, sweet, a side quest. Thanks, lady. With that in mind, I continued on towards the factory. After 2 more days of travel, I made it to one of Warren Company's factories on days 42 through 45. I looked around and noticed lots of ore and diamonds being funneled into the factory. Unfortunately, the area was heavily guarded by cultists. I hesitated, but I figured I had no choice. There's no other option but for me to fight. However, I would probably be wise to lure some of them out so I won't have to take them all on at once. I thought hard about a good distraction until I saw a creeper wandering nearby. Perfect. I used my lightning ability on it. The charged creeper panicked and exploded right on cue. 5 guards left their post and came rushing to investigate the explosion. I remained hidden, then attacked once they were in reach. I took them all out easily with my lightning. With the guards gone, I made my way inside the factory. As I ventured in, I came across Steve, fully equipped with diamonds and big guns.
Hello again, you monster.
I know you are, but what am I?
Shut up and fight me.
Steve immediately began shooting at me, and I teleported away to avoid the bullets. His bullets were difficult to dodge, but Steve was getting tired, and I knew his armor had to be wearing out. I eventually backed him against a pit of lava, and he slipped in. I did it! Now that Steve was defeated, I took the diamonds and left the factory. Days 46 through 49, I decided to use my diamonds to make some armor and weaponry. Heck yeah, all aboard the diamond train. As I set off again, I traveled through the Black Forest, looking for the second primordial egg. Dang, this place is creepy, even for me. As I continued, I found a paper tacked on a tree and took it. This must be one of those notes Wimberly talked about. So if I got one, then there's only 7 left. I traveled some more and found another one, and another, and then 2 more. Okay, this is easy. I just have 3 more to go. Suddenly, I could feel the presence of someone or something stalking me. Who's there? No one answered. So I cautiously returned to my search for the next note. Not long after, I found it and read it. Stop now. Game over. No, I'll never stop. Only 1 more to go. I kept moving, but out in front of me, a tall, slender ghost suddenly appeared. Ah! I ain't afraid of no ghost. I tried to hit the ghost, but nothing happened. It hit me back hard, and I knew I couldn't fight it. So I sprinted away from it. I kept running while looking for the last note. The spirit managed to follow me and kept hitting me as I ran. Ow! Leave me alone! Finally, I managed to find the last note amidst the chaos. I grabbed it and turned towards the ghost, who finally stopped chasing me.
Thanks for playing with me.
It then died abruptly. Oh, well, okay then. Anyways, I should bring these to Wimberly. But first, I need that second egg. I got myself back on track and continued with my egg hunt. I came out into a clearing in the forest on days 50 through 53. In the middle, there was a mysterious bedrock structure. I investigated it and realized egg 2 had to be hidden behind the barrier of bedrock. How did they even manage to get bedrock anyway? I call hacks. I knew I needed to solve the puzzle in order to access it. I noticed 3 levers nearby, all pointed down. I wonder. I tried flipping the levers in various combinations. Nothing worked. Eventually, I just tried flipping them all up. Still nothing happened. Oh, come on. I looked around the area again and found 1 more lever behind a pumpkin, pointed down. I switched it up to match the other and heard a noise. I looked and saw that the egg was exposed. Finally! Now that the puzzle was solved, a forest guardian boss spawned to protect the egg. I teleported before it could hit me. I'll get that egg. You can't stop me. I struck the stone creature with lightning. The guardian managed to send me backwards with a heavy hit. I continued striking it, and I was able to overpower it. Told you couldn't stop me. I finally obtained the second egg and used its powers to give myself a full row of 20 hearts and an awesome jump ability. It just keeps getting cooler. I finally headed out of the forest, full of confidence. Little did I know that I was being watched the whole time. On days 54 through 57, I knew things would get tougher for me because I was now in possession of 2 of the 3 eggs. Warren had beefed up security all around the island. Any personnel I ran into now would be much stronger. I remembered that a man named Gale would have answers to where it may be located, but I still needed to be much stronger to take on Warren's men. Finding the 3rd egg is definitely going to be more difficult than I imagined. I need someone to teach me how to fight better. I tried to think of who could help. If I was discovered deep within the earth, perhaps there was someone similar to myself who could teach me stronger techniques. Wait, the Spider Queen. She's a big spider creature like me. She may be my best bet on honing in on my powers. I traveled back to the caves right away and into the city of spiders. The queen greeted me as I entered.
Look who's back so soon. I see you've gained power and strength.
I have, but I don't know how to manage my power correctly.
What do you want me to do about it? Train you or something?
Yes, actually. I was hoping you could.
Fine, but only because Warren and his cronies are inching closer and closer to my colony. Give me some time for beauty rest. We start in a few hours.
The queen was ready to train me on days 58 through 61. She had me follow her outdoors where there was more room.
All right, I want you to run to that tree and back to me until I tell you to stop. Ready, set, go!
I ran as fast as I could back and forth. I was about to give up after a good while of doing so, but the queen finally stopped me.
Well done. I didn't think you had it in you.
Really? All I needed to do was press W. Next up, the queen had me meditate.
In my own words, there's no greater wealth in the world than a peace of mind. Now sit and don't think about anything.
It was tough trying not to think about finding the third egg or wanting to kill Warren, but eventually I was able to clear my mind and relax. Wow, I feel much better now.
Good. Then let's move on to your last test.
The queen brought me to a small fishing city where Greg lived.
Now, destroy this wasteland.
What? But my friend lives down there.
You, friends? Everyone here hates creatures like you and I. Now kill them.
No! Greg has shown me nothing but kindness. I won't hurt him, and I won't let you hurt him either. I started attacking the queen to protect my friend.
You fool! How dare you!
The queen retaliated and bit me before summoning spider minions. I maintained distance and hit them with lightning. The spider queen spawned more each time I took them out. It was difficult to hit her with so many smaller spiders in the way. Ugh, there's so many! I was getting frustrated and started to lose hope. In my rage, I attacked a group of spiders near me and noticed a row of purple things shooting up from the ground. Whoa! Did I do that? Finally, I turned my attention back to the queen and managed to take her out along with her remaining minions with my new Void Core powers. Awesome! I unlocked a new ability! As I celebrated my victory, I failed to notice Gale and Greg watching me from inside.
See? I told you he ain't too bad.
On days 62 through 65, I departed from the fishing town and headed back home. I was so excited to show Jeff my cool new jumping ability. I knew he was gonna be so impressed. After arriving back at my base, I found that the whole place had been completely ransacked. What the heck happened here? And where's Jeff? I wandered around for a bit and eventually came across some cultists talking about how they just kidnapped Jeff. They were planning to use him as bait to draw me out. Now that I got all the information I need, it's time to take these guys out and rescue Jeff. I quickly teleported closer and began my attack on the cultists. I dodged around their bullets as much as I could and swung my sword at every opening I could find. I was able to finish them off. Looking back at my base, I sighed at the absolute mess that had been made of it. I'll have to clean this up when I get back. But first, I'm coming, Jeff. Just sit tight. On days 66 through 70, I was in a mad dash with all my spindly spider legs, making a beeline to the watchtower. As I was running, I heard Jeff's voice.
Help! Shut it!
I peered out to a dirt path from the tree line and saw a collection of cultists hauling Jeff away in a cage. Perfect. I decided to quickly intercept them and free Jeff. Surprise, freaky cultists!
I regret my life choices!
I left where the cultists perished and released Jeff from the cage.
Thank you. I'm so grateful. I knew you would come to rescue me.
But of course. Now come on, let's get back to the base. We got back and got started with fixing the base as well as upgrading a bit. We spent the next couple of days cleaning, expanding, and then adding some nice fences for extra support and decoration.
Hey, guess what? I found out we can use my webs for wool.
Oh, sweet! Jeff handed me string from his webs, and I crafted it into wool for some beds. I then placed them in our base as well, just because we could now. Nice, extra cozy. Let's get some rest now. Tomorrow will be the start of the search for the third and final primordial egg. On days 71 through 74, all I could think about was where the last egg could be. I remembered the note that Eugene had left by a certain Gale. After searching around the island, I couldn't find them anywhere. I decided to go visit the witch to see if she had any helpful information. Have you seen anyone by the name of Gale lately?
Oh, I haven't seen Gale in a very long time. I'm sorry I couldn't be of any help.
Without gaining any useful information, I headed towards Tony Tittle's place. Looks like he's alone. Now that I've gotten stronger, this will be the perfect time to get my revenge. I made my way into his place and greeted him. Hello, Tony. Do you know where Gale is?
Huh? Oh, it's you. I'll never tell you where he is.
If you're not going to tell me, then I'll just have to beat it out of you. Without hesitation, he immediately pulled out his gun and started firing at me. This time it was easier to maneuver around him and launch my volley of attacks. After zapping him a few more times, I finally defeated Tony. That was a lot easier than before. I really am stronger now. I was at a loss of ideas on where I could find this Gale person, so I decided to check out one last spot, the small fishing village. Maybe Greg knows of Gale's whereabouts. I had arrived at Greg's place and was immediately greeted.
Hey bud, I saw how you defended the town from the Spider Queen. Thanks a ton.
No problem. Would you happen to know where Gale is? Suddenly, a man appeared from behind me.
No kidding. Thank you for your service. By the way, the name's Gale.
I had finally found the mysterious man I had been searching for. I could finally gather the last bit of information that I needed. Gale, do you know where the last egg could be? Gale seemed a little hesitant to tell me anything.
It's okay, Gale. Warren is only in it for the money and power. You can trust our friend here.
Okay, the last egg is deep beneath a heavily guarded mine, just east of here.
Thank you. I said my goodbyes and headed straight for the mine. After traveling east for some time, on days 75 through 78, I had finally arrived at the mine to retrieve the last egg. I scouted the area and verified that Gale wasn't lying. This place was heavily armed and guarded up the wazoo. Jeez, they even have Ravagers on their side. I decided to go out guns blazing. I used my jumping ability to stir up the land around me and zapped any guards in my sight. They got some shots in, but it wasn't enough to stop me. After zapping around them, I had finally finished them off. After all was said and done, I spotted the entrance and made my way into the mines. I had arrived in a large open room and noticed the glow of the egg was across the way.
Not so fast.
Huh? Who's there? A large monster had appeared from the shadows. He must be the guardian of this egg.
If you want the egg, you'll have to get through me first.
The skeletal creature began summoning his henchmen. They got closer, but luckily for me, I could teleport away from harm. I killed off some of the smaller guys, but they just kept coming. If I wanted to end this, I had to go for the big skeleton. I struck him with my lightning and swung my sword at any chance I could find. And with one last strike, I had finally defeated the giant skeleton. I walked over to the last egg and picked it up. Suddenly, I transformed yet again. I felt bigger and way stronger than before. Whoa, I look awesome. Now I just need to figure out what to do with all three of these eggs. With the third and final egg in my possession, as I made my way back to the base between days 79 and 82, I was excitedly greeted by Jeff and Phil.
Charles! Welcome back! Glad to see you in one piece.
Did you get the egg? Did ya? Did ya?
Yeah, bud, I got it! Now that I have all three of these things, I need to find the Nexus altar to destroy them once and for all. That way, Warren can never hope to even lay a finger on the eggs. Phil then spoke up again and said that my best lead would be Paul, Eugene's son.
If anyone will know where the Nexus is, it's gotta be him.
Then I got an idea. Phil, do you think you could pretend to be Eugene's ghost? Maybe Paul would be willing to tell his dad the location.
Great idea!
I'm down to hunt some dudes. Count me in.
There's just one problem.
What is that?
I have no idea where Paul is, or where he could be. Everyone on this island either wants me dead, or has told me everything they know.
Well, you're in luck. As a ghost, I know where everyone is. Follow me.
Though I was skeptical of what being a ghost had to do with knowing someone's location, I didn't question it much, and followed Phil closely. I followed Phil on days 83 through 86 into the mountaintops of the island. It was cold and very snowy, and I was having some doubts. You sure you know where he's at, Phil?
Yeah, I do. He's been hiding in these mountains so he doesn't encounter you.
Oh, okay. I kept following him, and we eventually made it to a lone house in the mountainside.
All right, we're here. You better stay far away. If Paul sees you, he will run like mad or die without telling you where the temple is.
Good call. I'll wait here. I watched as Phil went to haunt Paul, who was preoccupied. Paul was cooking something up in the furnace when all of a sudden, Phil floated through the wall behind him.
Son!
Paul jumped and turned around in fright.
Dad?
Yes, it is I, Eugene. I mean your dad.
Oh no. Dad, I'm so sorry that you passed. How did this happen? Was it Charles?
Yes, it was. He was way too cool or something, but that's okay. I was fighting the good fight. Anyways, I need you to tell me where the temple is.
Wait, shouldn't you know where it's at?
No. As a ghost, my, memories were wiped.
Okay, if you say so. Here's the map, Pops.
Thanks, Jimbo. I mean, Paul. Love ya.
I love you too, Dad.
Bye.
Phil came back to me after all that. Wow, 10 out of 10 acting there.
Nah, he was just 10 out of 10 gullible. Anyways, I'll hold on to the map and keep it safe until you're ready.
Sounds good to me. During days 87 through 90, I was ambushed by Warren, who threw a paralysis potion at me. Hey, what gives?
Look at you all stuck in stuff.
Let me go! Warren walked up to me and reached into my inventory.
Sorry, Charlie, but I'll be taking those eggs. I got lots of great ideas of what to do with these, but first, I need to make sure that you don't come back to foil my plans.
There's nothing you can do. I'm practically unkillable at this point. With the power of the eggs, Warren was able to do the unthinkable. He began chanting some words.
Impero TV, lorem ipsum dolores. Good luck at another land, partner.
I soon then passed out. I had woken up for days 91 to 93, trapped on some mysterious island, different from the original one. Oh no, I need to figure out how to get back and stop Warren. After some wayfinding, I realized that this indeed was not my original island, but actually a land off the coast. There should be plenty of ships passing by, and I was right. Plenty of ships got close enough for me to shout at them. Hey, I need a ride! They were too terrified to come near me, but I had a plan. I thought about it for days, and I finally figured I'd make an SOS signal and hide while the boats approached. That should do it. I waited, and finally it worked. A large enough ship got close enough for me to hop on.
Is there anybody there?
Hey! Hey, snap out of it, Captain, and take me to the mainland.
Oi, you got it, creepy train spider.
The ship was now nearing the shore on days 94 through 96, when it suddenly got ambushed by cultists.
What's the meaning of this?
Wait, get away from them! The cultists attacked and killed the captain and crew. No! How could you? I went into a rage and angrily killed the awful cultists. Can't these guys leave me alone just once? Since I couldn't run the ship on my own, I used my teleport to jump to the shore. Once I made it to land, I could feel my anger swelling. They destroyed my home, tried to take my friend, stole my eggs, and now this? Ugh! I was so furious about Warren taking my eggs and all the other things he'd done that I desperately wanted to get revenge. I'm gonna give those cultists and Warren a piece of my mind. I went on an absolute rampage, destroying any remaining outposts I could find. I broke through walls, set fire to their property like they had to mine, and acclaimed all cultists I came across. When I was done, all of the last outposts had been reduced to nothing but rubble. There. I feel better now. But the work isn't done yet. Warren has the eggs, and his plan is imminent. I can't stop now. I decided to go back home and meet up with Phil, so we could plan what to do next. When I arrived back home on days 97 and 98, everyone looked anxious. Jeff was skittering around the floor back and forth so much, and Phil was just staring at the wall. You guys seem stressed. What's going on? They both turned and looked at me.
Of course we're stressed. It's game over, man. It's only a matter of time before Warren does something insane.
Yeah, no one has ever defeated anyone with the power of all three primordial eggs.
There's a first time for everything. This train doesn't stop. Not for some silly eggs. Not for Warren. Not for anything.
So cool. What about me? Is there anything I can do to help you out?
You know, Jeff, you've been such a good friend. I couldn't ask for anything more from you.
Really? You don't want me to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment on what kind of video I'd like to see next?
Actually, that would be very pog of you. We're almost at 2 million subscribers and just need a few more people to join the Bronzo army.
I'm not exactly sure what a Bronzo is, Charles, but if you're ready, I can guide you to the Nexus. Warren's bound to be close by.
I'm ready. Let's go. On day 99, I traveled with Phil, who was guiding us with the map. Along the way, we encountered a group of strong-looking cultists with even bigger guns, but it was nothing I couldn't already handle. After defeating the cultists, we continued our journey to the Nexus. Unfortunately, it's never that easy. We were met with a small horde of zombies, but these guys were even easier to take on than the cultist group. That's strange. When were there ever zombies on this island? We had finally arrived at the Nexus. Phil stopped moving and turned to me.
Looks like this is the place. I'll be taking my leave now. Oh, and good luck.
Thank you for everything. After Phil had left, I turned back to observe the sea of heavily armed cultists and creatures guarding the area. This is going to be tough, but I want to get to Warren. I'm going to have to take all these guys out. I began striking down the horde with my lightning, turning them into a sea of flames. I used my void core to bulldoze through the line of my weakened foes. I continued to teleport around the hail of bullets they had showered upon me, and quickly defeated them in waves. Then the Skeleton King wailed on me, but I was easily able to maneuver away from them with my jumping ability, shaking up the land around me. I had dealt my final bits of damage, securing my victory against the guards. Woo! That was hectic. I'm coming for you, Warren. After completing my task, I ventured further into the Nexus. Day 100 marked the final confrontation with Warren Charles III at the Nexus of the island. It's done. All your cultists have left you. You are all alone now.
I still have the eggs. I'm not afraid of their power. I want to embrace it.
Warren took a step towards the eggs, and I knew what he was about to do. No! It was too late. Warren used the eggs to gain more power and make himself stronger. With sounds of bones cracking and snapping, he transformed into a spider, still with his human face intact.
Finally, I hold the power now.
No! What have you done? He charged at me, hitting me hard and sending me flying back. I tried evading him with my teleportation to evade his strikes.
That's so scary now when you're so weak.
I jumped away from his next blow and tried to collect myself.
Stop running away and face your destiny.
Warren began summoning spider fangs from the ground that packed a punch. I gave it my all and eventually just die. Ugh! Yes! Yes! I did it! Choo-choo! Bronzo! On day 101 as Choo-Choo Charles, I had just defeated Warren, and I was having a celebration. Choo-choo! Let's celebrate, Jeff!
Heck yeah! Break it down.
Suddenly, out of nowhere, a rogue train slammed straight into me. What the heck? Get this thing away from me!
Now extracting the unit in 3, 2, 1.
The device began sucking my power away and taking all of my items. It was super painful. Ah! I feel strange now. I'm useless without my abilities. What's going on? Just then, Steve stepped out of the train.
Oh, hello, Charles. I'll be taking your friend here.
No! Jeff! What do you think you're doing?
I need him. He has the power of the ancient spider inside of him.
How is this possible? I thought you died last episode, along with Warren.
Legends never die, sucker!
Steve then set his train to leave with Jeff taken hostage. I was powerless and couldn't stop him even if I wanted to.
I'm gonna keep upgrading this train until it is powerful enough to destroy you once and for all, just like in the game. Bye-bye.
Not good. At least he didn't take my eggs. I gotta gain my powers back and stop Steve, just as I did Warren. Here we go again. On day 103, my other friend Phil, the ghost, returned from his vacation.
What the heck happened here?
I explained the whole situation to him, and he just shook his head.
That's just a darn shame, Charles. Poor Jeff.
I know! Let's go home and make a plan for them. We tried heading back to our old base, but we noticed in the distance that Steve had taken it over. He was destroying everything and going to rebuild it, making it totally unrecognizable.
Yeehaw! Don't worry, buddy. We'll make ourselves a new base that is way better than the last one.
Ugh, okay. We found ourselves a new cave that was far away from Steve and started digging it out nice and big. There were still no ores on the island from Warren's activities, but luckily, Phil had some leftover iron, so we made ourselves iron tools and kept working. I added in all of the basics we needed, and then got to work making new areas for Jeff, Phil, and myself that fill each of our needs. Eventually, I would build this simple cave into an epic train station, where all creatures of the island are welcome. Watch to the end to see it.
Where will the tunnels go?
Anywhere we want them to. Maybe we'll even dig one straight to Steve's base, and make him be surprised. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a Wendigo came out from the wall in the cave and attacked me. Ah! Stop! Stop!
What are you doing in my territory? Are you with Warren?
What? No! Warren is dead. I killed him. We settled here because there's a new threat to worry about. Steve and his evil killing machine. Look, let's not do anything rash here.
Okay, I'll leave you alone for now. But if you become an annoying neighbor, I won't stand for it.
Talk about a warm welcome, am I right?
Yeah, as warm as an icebox. I need to get stronger if I want to survive here. I couldn't go mining for more iron, since Warren depleted the island of all resources. So I set out to search the scrapyard where I found iron in the last episode, and mined enough to make a full set of armor, like a chest plate, leggings, helmet, and boots. Last time I was here, I was attacked by a crazy dude. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. While making my way through the scrapyard, I ran into a giant axolotl. At first, I was wary, but he turned out to be friendly.
Yeah, there aren't many of us friendly guys on the island. We're a dying breed.
Well, it's nice to catch a break for once.
I overheard you talking about becoming stronger. I may be of help.
How so?
There's a place for the temple located on Mount Mountain.
Mount Mountain? That sounds fake.
No, it's real. Trust me, I've been a few times.
So what can I expect when I get there?
I don't want to give up too much, but I'd say go prepared.
Okay, see ya.
Timmy.
Okay, good talking to you, Timmy.
It's Timmy.
Right, see ya, Timmy. During day 105, I was making my way up Mount Mountain. I could see the temple from below, but I was met with fans of mine.
OMG, Choo Choo Charles, it worked. We summoned him.
We thought Warren got the best of you. Please, sign my forehead.
Pretty soon, I was surrounded by a number of cultist worshippers.
Choo Choo Charles. Choo Choo Charles.
Guys, please stop doing that. Well, if you don't listen, I don't feel bad about doing this. I fought the cultists. I felt kind of bad, but they were getting in the way of something larger than me. I may be weak, but cultists are super weak. I continued up the mountain and made it to the entrance of the temple. As much as I don't want to, I guess I'm going in there. Hello? Is anyone here? As I entered the large room, there was a powerful orb floating above a pit, but it was being guarded by a large troll.
You make troll mad!
Wait, okay, here we go. Okay, so I just need that
orb belong to troll.
I knew if I wanted to defeat this troll without my powers, I would have to use my brains. I saw the perfect opportunity on the floor right in front of me. Hey, Hollowhead, over here.
Hollowhead?
The troll charged at me, running right above the hole and falling straight into it. Yeah! Now that takes smarts to pull off. Now for the orb. I towered up, and upon grabbing the orb, I gained a new jumping smash power. Finally, I have something to fight with. Time to test the limits. I searched the night for some helpless zombies to meet their maker. With my new ability, I was able to smash them into bits and pieces. Choo-choo! I'm back, everybody! On day 106, I was on my way back to the base when I ran into Steve! Steve, you made a mistake coming here. I'm strong enough to kill you now that I have my new ability.
Ha! Yeah, right. I'd like to see you try.
I charged in and started fighting him in his train, but I quickly realized that he was still stronger than me, even with my new power. What? How?
Because I'm better than you. Duh.
Just then, he upgraded his train even further and hit me super hard. Just when I thought he would finish me off, he stopped.
You're a waste of my time. See you, loser.
I tried to chase after him a little bit, but I knew it wasn't worth it. I wasn't strong enough to stop him anyways. I continued back home and was greeted by Phil.
Hey, buddy, you look rough. Wanna talk?
No. I stopped and realized that was mean. Phil was just trying to help. Sorry, buddy. Basically, I got this new ability, but Steve is still way stronger than me, and I can't beat him.
Don't worry, buddy. You still got a ways to go. Eventually, you're gonna catch up to Steve enough to defeat him.
Thanks, bro. I'm gonna go get some shut-eye and rest off these injuries. On days 107 and 108, I woke up and decided to visit the Wendigo. I wanted to ask her if she knew anything about Steve. I dug a hole from where she came out from earlier and found her room.
No, go away!
Come on, please! From one creepy creature to another.
Fine.
She started explaining to me what she knew.
It would seem that Steve has been resurrected by the spirit of the island for some purpose.
And so now the island is giving him his power?
Yeah, basically he has hacks.
I don't get it. Why would the island do that to me after everything I did to protect it?
Maybe it's just done with you now. You've served your purpose.
Or maybe Steve is misguiding the island and feeding it lies.
Perhaps. You'll have to find out for yourself.
Wait, really? What do you mean?
Heart of the island, dude. Duh. Just travel to the core and you'll find it.
Okay. How do I get to the core?
It's in the center, double duh. You're gonna have to find the key.
Okay, and then where is that?
Legend has it the key is somewhere in the ocean on the shore of the island.
That's a good start. Thanks for the help. What's your name, by the way?
Wendy, duh.
On days 109 and 110, I set out searching for the key to the heart of the island. I went to the edge of the island and jumped inside, not caring about what would happen. Oh, looks like I'm watertight. I can breathe underwater. Would have been nice to know sooner, but I started swimming around looking for anything that might lead to the key. Eventually, I arrived at an ocean monument and figured that might be it. There was a huge creepy sea creature lurking around, but obviously I wasn't gonna judge it by its looks. I approached and tried to talk to it. Excuse me, are you by any chance guarding some kind of key to the heart of the island?
Yeah, what's it to ya?
Really? That's interesting, because I'm here to actually get the key. That is, if you... It wouldn't listen to me and charged at me to battle. I was forced to fight it. I hit it with my sword, but since I wasn't in the air, I couldn't use my jump attack. It was super tough and shot me with bolts of lightning, but I was getting tougher. We were a pretty evenly matched fight, since my powers weren't as strong underwater, but eventually I was able to wear it down and deal the final blow, taking it out. Ha! I did it! I quickly swam into the monument and searched around for a key. I spotted a chest and opened it, and the key was inside. I grabbed it, but just then, a trap was triggered that uncovered a bunch of molten blocks that started sucking me in. Ow! Ah! It burns! The magma was steadily doing damage to me. I knew this couldn't be the way that I died. I crouched in pain, and it stopped hurting me. Wait, all I have to do is crouch? Thanks, Minecraft. Unfortunately, I still couldn't swim out, but since I wasn't taking damage now, I used my pickaxe to mine the magma and was able to swim back out of the trap. This stupid island is trying to kill me. I got out of there as quick as I could and returned home with the key. On days 111 through 113, I returned to the base and got to work converting it into an epic train station. I started by carving out the edges and making them all square. While I did that, I had Phil float up to the ceiling and dig up to the surface. Then he built a nice glass ceiling with some wood around the edges. This would ensure that there was plenty of light shining down in my station, and the beauty of it would inspire all the creatures who came through. Phil then joined me with digging before using different types of stone bricks and granite to make a floor with a nice pattern. Some walls using both brick blocks and brick walls, and a staircase for the entrance with the stone brick stairs, polished granite stairs, and more lanterns. I had plenty of powered rails and some minecarts Phil had brought me from some abandoned mine shafts he had found. I decided to go ahead and continue digging the large train tunnel that would eventually lead all the way to Steve's base. As I was digging, I started to hear some snoring coming through the rock. What the? I think I'm done for now. I traveled back to the main cave to have a talk with Phil. Buddy, dude, I need to figure out how to use the resources on this island to get stronger.
Well, I did see some half-wolf, half-human type people who might be able to help you out.
Thanks, Phil. I'll go check that out. I was about to leave when suddenly a group of heavily armed cultists attacked the base. Oh no! Steve must have turned them against me. I began fighting off the attack on the base, but it was not going well. There was just too many of them. I fought them off as hard as I could, but they were way too strong. Steve must have given them extra strength. Luckily, Phil jumped in, and with his help, we were able to fend them off. Whew, I really need to get stronger, and fast. I thanked Phil again for his help and left the base in a hurry. I set out to find the wolf people to see if they could help me, but as I was leaving, I ran into Wendy the Wendigo.
Hey neighbor, you going to visit the heart of the island?
Not yet. I gotta get stronger first.
Yeah, probably smart. Are you going to your cult?
No, they betrayed me actually. I'm seeking the help of the wolf people.
Yeah, good luck with that. They're basically a cult of their own.
I ignored Wendy's comment and continued on to find the wolf people. From days 118 to 121, I arrived at the tribe of the wolf people. How did you guys get to this island?
Let me tell you a story. We used to be workers on the island. We worked under Warren. That was until we realized he was shady. We tried to band together and unionize. Part of our plan was to stop him from draining all the resources from the island and destroying its unique creatures. Warren had everyone who tried to unionize killed. But the island appreciated what we did for it and brought us back like this.
If the island is being so nice, why is it being a jerk to me?
I'm not sure. Maybe you're a jerk?
What? No! Anyways, can I train to be a powerful warrior like you guys?
Let's do it.
My training commenced on days 122 through 125.
We've become quite fast over the years as we often get attacked by a group of blaze wolves that became our enemies. If you could keep up, then you'll be stronger in no time.
Oh wow, that's crazy! Well, I'm ready to go, so lead the way, guys! I ran with the pack, doing my best to keep up as they darted from place to place. They weren't kidding about being fast. I almost lost them a couple of times, but I managed to catch up. Eventually, I even surpassed them. Next, I shot at targets using a bow and some poison arrows the Wolfman had given me. It took some practice at first, but soon I was hitting every target. I did it! Thanks for letting me use your weapons.
Excellent job, but why don't you keep the bow and arrows as a reward?
Really? Thank you! This'll help a lot. Finally, it was time for me to spar with a bigger Wolfman.
Ready, set, fight.
We ran at each other and started giving it our all. The big Wolfman slashed at me with his diamond sword and used his strength to try to knock me out of the ring. Meanwhile, I used my ability to knock him in the other directions. I was starting to wear the Wolfman down, but as we were sparring, we were suddenly interrupted by the wolf people's enemies, the Blaze Wolves. That reminds me of when I was a fire wolf. I was so strong. Wait, uh-oh. They barged into the ring and one hit me incredibly hard.
Everyone, stand your ground and fight.
Both myself and the wolf people did our best to fend off the Blaze Wolves, but it was obvious they were stronger. We used what powers or weapons we could to our advantage, but we were still losing. It can't end like this. What do? I got knocked back again, but noticed a magic egg on the ground nearby. Normally, I would have been confused by its appearance, but this time I grabbed it quickly without question. As I did, I suddenly transformed and grew a new train cart and powerful fangs. I was much stronger and even gained 5 hearts, and I got my lightning ability back. It worked! I'm stronger now. I used my strength and took out the Blaze Wolf that I had been fighting before helping the wolf people wipe out the rest of the attackers. Before long, the Blaze Wolves were no more.
You saved us. This is incredible. We must celebrate.
That night, there was a great feast, and everyone was happily celebrating. The leader stepped up and got everyone's attention.
Everyone, Charles has not only completed his training, but he has defeated the Blaze Wolves and set us free from their attacks. Cheers for Charles!
Cheers for Charles! Cheers for Charles!
Thank you. I'm happy I could help.
Feel free to stay the night. The celebration will likely go on for hours anyways.
Don't mind if I do. Thanks. I woke up for days 126 to 129 and stepped outside to thank the wolf people.
You're welcome, and come back anytime.
I left the camp to finally head back home, but along the way, I could tell something was watching me. My suspicions were correct. A group of mushroom zombies ambushed me. I just can't catch a break, can I? They were poisonous to the touch and caused nausea. I don't feel so good, but I have to keep fighting. While battling, I thought about where these zombies could have come from. It couldn't have been Steve. They are too dumb to listen to him. The island must have forced them to attack me. After the long fight, I took out the last zombie. I just don't understand. Why would this island turn against me? After everything I've done for it. If it wasn't for me, Warren would still be destroying it. I decided to keep moving, and I thought to myself that after I got home, I'm going to search for the heart of the island once and for all. But once I arrived home, my plans changed, since it had been destroyed. This is terrible. What happened? Phil, you here? Phil! Phil was nowhere to be seen, and I thought the worst. Steve must have taken him and had his cultist goons destroy my base. I had to come up with a plan, but I couldn't think in all this mess. I fixed up all of our rooms, bringing them back to their original glory. I still couldn't wait for Jeff to see his spider-themed room. I even had to fix up my train station, reapplying the rails and making sure the station entrance was back to normal, looking grander than ever. All done with fixing this place up. I think I'll continue digging the tunnel. So I dug in both directions, wanting this train to travel as far as possible. But something crazy happened once I got to a certain depth. Why is there something glowing here? Is there something behind this wall? I heard a huge roar from behind the rocks, and the wall exploded in front of me, revealing a giant skeleton.
Who has awakened me?
This must have been one of the island's ancient beings, and now I was on its bad side. We started to fight, and it could shoot rays of fire, and even when it would just hit me with its fists, I would take a lot of damage, and my powers seemed to do nothing to this giant skeleton. My health got dangerously low. I had to do something quick, so I started placing cobblestone down, creating a wall between myself and the monster. That should keep him in there for now, but just in case, I think I'm done with being in these tunnels. I was safe for the moment, but as I walked away, I could still hear the giant skeleton from the other side of the wall, smashing around and screeching. I knew I had to get stronger quickly, so from days 130 to 133, I hoped finding the heart of the island would help me. Oh, where could it be? Oh, I know. The center of the island.
I already said that earlier, duh! Weren't you listening to me?
Okay, Wendy, if you're so smart, why don't you help me get there?
Fine, but only because I'm smarter than you.
Wendy and I traveled for miles and miles. Eventually, my spider legs got exhausted. Can we rest for a little bit?
Heroes don't get tired, Charles. Keep on chewing.
True, but what should we do about that thing?
Hello. It looks like you guys entered my swamp.
The undead foe charged at Wendy and I. Look, lady, we don't want no trouble, but if you want it, you'll get some.
Yeah, I could use a bone to chew on.
You two won't live to see another day.
Wendy and I used all of our fighting knowledge to attack and bring down the monster. I used my explosion ability to good use, and Wendy had strong, massive claws. I'm done with you! Feel my full trained force! Yeah! I used as much of my power as I could and took her down. Not bad, Wendy. We make a good team.
I'm not your friend, Charles. Keep on moving.
Okay, sheesh. No need to be rude.
Yeah.
By the end of days 134 to 137, Wendy and I finally arrived at the heart of the island. It was dead and losing life.
Well, this is it, Charles. I ain't going in with ya.
Thanks for helping me, Wendy. But why? I thought you hated me.
I don't hate ya. I just have tough love for ya. Now, get out of my face.
I tried to approach the heart of the tree, but it was guarded by a large being. Excuse me, may I just get past? Ah!
No one gets past.
I didn't want to have to do this. I charged the Guardian again, this time with more strength and purpose. I managed to get a few hits on it, but ultimately, he was much bigger and stronger than me. You don't understand. I'm here to help.
No one gets past.
I'll be back, and when I do, it's over for you. I left the heart of the island defeated and discouraged. What the heck? I used to be the strongest thing on this island. Wait, why am I focused on being the strongest when I should be saving my friends? I returned to my base to think of a plan, but instead, I heard someone or something calling for help.
Someone, anyone, help!
Huh? Is that coming from here? I began digging, and the voice got louder and louder.
You're getting closer.
What the? Who are you?
First off, thank you. Second, my name's Smitty.
Look, not to be rude, but I'm trying to save my friends, not strangers.
Well, I'm a friend now, so you did it. But hold on, are you talking about your spider and ghost pals?
Yes, that's them.
I've seen them both in an abandoned dungeon not too far from here.
Well, don't just stand there. Take me. Smitty led me through the mines on days 138 through 141. So, how long have you been here?
Oh, a long time before that Warren guy appeared. I came to this island right after helping me old buddy of mine become a king. Good times.
Oh, that sounds like a fun adventure. You'll have to tell me about it sometime. We continued through the tunnels until we made it to the dungeon where Jeff was tied up. Jeff, buddy, I found you.
Charles, you made it.
Yep, but wait, where's Phil? I thought he'd be here too.
I'm right here.
I turned and Phil was floating right behind me. Wait, Phil, you're not captured?
Well, I was, but I'm a ghost. So I just flew out of my enclosure pretty easily. But I didn't want to leave Jeff all alone.
Well, well, well. Look who found their friends. The train who cried eek.
Steve, you're a real monster for doing this, you know. I'm here to stop you now. Smitty, do me a solid and get Jeff out of here. I'll handle this.
You got it, pal.
Yikes, I'm out of here too.
So, how did you find my dungeon?
My friend Nunya helped me.
Nunya?
Nunya business? Why, you little... Steve charged at me with pure rage. Luckily, I was stronger now and could hold my ground against him. With my abilities slowly returning to me, I finally had the upper hand.
You think you can defeat me, don't you? Remember, I control the island now. I control you.
We'll see about that. I made a dash towards Steve's train and defaced it with lightning, damaging it as much as I could.
No, my hard work.
Haha! Feels bad, doesn't it? See ya, loser! From days 142 to 145, I met Jeff, Phil, and Smitty at the base, safe and sound. Thanks for the help, Smitty. What do you say you stick around?
Oh, that would be awesome. I've been sleeping under your train station this whole time.
That's not weird at all. But I'm glad to have you here. I made Smitty a room. I added lots of bones and nice decorations to it. Even though times are tough, I'm glad to be making new friends on the island. Friends who will stick by my side no matter what.
This is great. I could really use some rest right now.
Hey, before you do that, would you happen to know what that big muddy skeleton's name is?
Well, we don't talk about Hugo. You technically built on his land and he wants to murder you.
Okay, I'll be avoiding him for now. Have fun resting. Hey, Jeff, buddy!
Hey, Charles. Thanks for saving me again. I'm really enjoying this room you made for me. But what about Steve? He won't stop coming, will he?
No, and that's why I need to become better and stronger. Also, there is a big skeleton named Hugo in the tunnels. If I want to complete the station, I'll have to face that thing.
Oh, why don't you seek out the giants? I heard Steve talking about them. He couldn't get past them. They must be strong.
Yes, good thinking, Jeff. Where could they be?
Snowy Mountains, I think.
Thanks, Jeff. Glad to have you back. I was feeling discouraged on days 146 through 149. I wasn't sure I'd ever be strong enough. I decided to take a walk outside the base to try and clear my head. I walked a good bit, but in somewhat of a daze. I mean, is there even a point to getting stronger if the island doesn't want me to?
Of course there is.
I turned to find a wise giant standing before me. He seemed to have heard me while I was moping.
The island is wild and unpredictable. It could be that it's not trying to hurt you at all.
No, I am definitely being targeted for some reason.
Well, then you need to suit up and stop whining about it.
Suit up?
Yep, you need proper material for protection. You thinking what I'm thinking?
Diamonds!
There's a cave I know still happens to have some hidden inside. Go there and come back to me when you've obtained some. Then I'll train you in the art of defense.
I soon found myself in the cave the giant had told me about. I noticed some torches and piles of cobblestone in one area and decided to mine it, finding diamonds hidden underneath. There you are. That was easier than I thought. I got to mining enough diamonds for a full set of armor and tools. Just then, a monster appeared and started yelling at me.
Stop stealing my diamonds!
The angry monster threw some blocks at me that exploded. I tried to strike it with lightning, but it was pretty fast. It kept throwing explosive blocks at me as I tried to dodge and counterattack. The bombs it threw at me were doing more damage than expected. I was losing and needed to think fast, so I threw the extra diamonds to distract it.
Oh, shiny!
With the monster distracted, I managed to attack it from behind and killed it. Ha! Bet you didn't see that coming. I returned to the giant with my new diamond gear on days 150 through 153. I found them. They were hidden in the cave, just like you said. I'm ready now. He immediately punched me. Ouch! What was that for?
See? You're all attack and no defense. Keep your head up.
Okay, I see now. So what you're saying is I need to keep my... Ow! He punched me again.
Stop talking and start blocking.
He backed up and started shooting arrows at me. I dodged and weaved to the best of my abilities while trying to shoot back. Eventually, I got a hit on him.
Nice job. Now what about a 2v1?
Wait, what? He whistled and a wood abomination came out of hiding.
Say hello to my little friend.
The wood abomination shot me with some green power while the giant continued firing arrows at me. I fought back with lightning and my own arrows, but did my best to remember to dodge and evade attacks more. The giant started hitting me with his club whenever I got close, so I had to make sure and keep my distance. Suddenly, I began to transform in the middle of our battle. My body extended and grew even more legs and some cabooses. I tested out my new form and knocked both the giant and his friend back. They were stunned and stopped fighting.
Good job, Charles. You know how to put up a good fight. I think I've done all I can for you. Well, except for this.
He handed me a shield to aid me with my defensive skills. Thanks for all your help. I should be heading back now.
Goodbye, and good luck.
I returned back to my base and had some business to take care of from days 154 to 157.
Whoa, you're looking strong, Charles.
Yeah, and I'm ready to defeat the giant skeleton in our base. I huffed and I puffed down the tracks and began breaking down the walls.
You again. I won't let you get away this time.
Bring it on, Stinky. Round 2 with the skeleton monster wasn't as bad as the first, since I knew how to defend myself better. Come on, man, don't make this harder than it has to be.
I don't listen to spider trains.
Wait, time out. Why are we fighting when we could just be friends?
Friends? I could use a friend.
I got an idea. I'll make my railroad go through your new room that I'll make for you.
That would be awesome.
After our peace agreement, I continued digging and laying down some tracks through the skeleton's old room. He made himself a nice simple room with a few decorations and some seats and windows where he could watch the trains go by. I hope you don't mind the noise.
It's okay. I don't sleep much.
Nice! I think I'm ready to fight the Guardian. During days 158 to 161, I decided it was time to face my roadblocks. Guardian, wake up and fight me!
No one gets past me.
The Guardian swung its axe back and forth with high velocity. I dodged and weaved, and then he missed and his axe got stuck in the ground. This is my chance. Get a taste of this! I noticed every once in a while the Guardian would miss and be vulnerable for a few moments. I would then strike his back with my diamond sword, which did a lot of damage to him. Yes! I did it! The Guardian dropped his axe and helmet. I took both. Whoa, this axe is awesome! I could really use this against Steve. I used the key to get past the gate and found the heart of the island. It was looking sick and corrupted. All the leaves had fallen off. Heart of the island, speak to me!
It was Steve. I didn't want to help him, but he corrupted me.
I knew it! How can I reverse it?
Defeat Steve. Hurry, I'm dying. And when I do, he will have ultimate control.
Okay, hold on to life, heart. Hold on! I hurried back to Steve's dungeon, hoping to find him there, but it was empty.
Gone fishing. Be back soon.
Gone fishing? I decided to check all nearby bodies of water to find Steve, but to my luck, I couldn't find him. Man, this stinks.
I've seen him. He fished up my whole family. Said he needed the fish oil for some train.
Where did he go?
He was talking to himself about upgrading his train and something about going that way.
Oh no, he must be upgrading his train again. Thanks, fish. Hope you find your family. On days 162 through 165, I was following the fish's directions to find Steve, and I ended up passing through a village. The troll from earlier suddenly climbed up out of the well.
Hey, I finally found you! You're gonna pay for making me fall in that hole!
I got ready for the fight of my life as the troll climbed out of the well and charged straight at me. I fought him with all my might, using all the powers to my disposal. He was strong, but I was much stronger than the last time we had met. It was a pretty even match, but I was starting to get the upper hand. Just then, the sun rose and shined down on the troll. Next thing I knew, the dude had turned into stone. Oh, okay. Man, that troll sure is dumb. I left the frozen troll behind and continued on my way. I was searching through the woods when suddenly I spotted Steve running behind a tree. Hey, get back here! I chased after him as fast as I could, but I lost him in the woods. Dang it, I almost had him. On days 166 through 170, I kept searching through the woods for Steve, but he was nowhere to be found. After searching for a while, I finally spotted him in his train. I kept chasing him, and he led me all the way back to the heart of the island. He got out, and he still hadn't spotted me, so he started setting up some kind of ritual. What the heck is he up to now? I was confused, because I thought he was trying to upgrade his train, but something was different this time. What was he using the heart of the island for? Wait, he must be using the heart to power up himself. The ritual began, and he started draining the remaining life from the heart of the island. I gotta stop him! I leapt into action and charged over to stop him. I struck him with lightning, but it was too late to stop it. He started to transform. He became a giant, creepy mutant version of himself, with spider legs that came out of his back and lunged at me. He was confident in his new form, but I was too strong for him without his train. I started to wear him down, but before I could take him out, Steve roared at me with some kind of new ability. It hurt, but with my new defense, I barely took any real damage from him. Just give up now, Steve!
And why would I do that? I'm much closer to killing you.
We'll see about that. I shot Steve with some arrows and my lightning powers, and finally got him to back off.
Ha! You really think you can defeat me? This isn't even my final form!
Steve jumped off of the castle and rode his train off into the night. On days 171 through 174, it was now daylight, and I went to talk to the heart again. Heart, I'm sorry I couldn't stop him from absorbing your energy.
It's okay. You did your best. In order to preserve my remaining energy, I need to go into hibernation.
But I need you. What should I do? Steve keeps getting away from me.
I believe in you, Choo-Choo Charles. You saved me once before, and I know you can do it again.
Ah, you're right. Stay safe. Heart, can you hear me? She didn't answer me, so I figured the hibernation had worked. I headed back home, and I was greeted by Phil.
Welcome back. You look defeated.
Yeah, 'cause Steve got even stronger, and I let him get away again.
Hey, don't be so harsh on yourself. You're gonna beat him. I know you will.
Thanks, Phil. Hey, why don't you grab Smitty and we can work on expanding the train station. With that, we continued digging the tunnels in the train station. I needed to just clear my mind, so I was able to get a lot of work done. I kept digging the tunnel further, and I figured that by now, I must be getting pretty close to Steve's base, where I was going to ambush him when the time was right. We finished up our expansion, and I turned to my friends. Hey, thanks for the help, you two, but I need some time alone down here.
Sure thing, buddy.
See ya.
I continued digging in the tunnel when I noticed a cave that we had uncovered in the process of digging. I went over to investigate it. I stepped through the open cave, and I couldn't believe what I saw on the other side. It was Warren. He was dismembered, and his head was somehow being kept alive.
Why, hello there, Choo-Choo Charles.
Warren? No, this can't be. I killed you.
So you thought. When you killed me, Steve collected my pieces, and I ended up back here.
When could you have done that? I was there the whole time. I would have seen something.
You were so busy celebrating with your dumb friend, you didn't even notice.
So what? You're just stuck down here?
For now, but I've been helping Steve, and he will help me in return.
You must be the reason he always knows where I am and where my base is.
Yep.
Well, that ends now. I'm gonna kill you for good, Warren. Before I could do anything, Steve appeared beside me.
Hello, Charles.
Next thing I knew, he had knocked me out. On days 179 through 182, I woke up in an enclosure that I knew Steve must have put me in, and saw him staring at me. What's your plan, Steve?
Why would I tell you? Actually,
On second thought, it would be boring if I didn't tell you.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm gonna take Warren's parts and make a body for him.
You're crazy for that one, Steve. You're not gonna get away with this.
Yes, I will. You're stuck here, and nobody in the whole world is gonna come to save you.
As if on cue, Jeff appeared behind him, and he was bigger than before.
Actually, I'm here to save him.
Jeff? Jeff leapt up at Steve, and they battled it out. I was worried that Jeff wouldn't be strong enough to hold his own, but he was doing surprisingly well. Somehow, he was able to wrap Steve in a bunch of cobwebs, which gave him enough time to set me free. Ha! Take that, Warren and Steve.
Yeah, suckers.
On days 183 through 186, I made it back to the base with Jeff. Hey, thanks for saving me, buddy. By the way, how did you get so big?
Well, Spinny and I did some training and it just happened. Oh, and I also ate some kind of special fungus.
Oh, well, I'm not complaining.
Me neither. By the way, did I overhear Steve saying he's planning to get a new body for Warren?
Yeah, he's officially lost it.
Well, while you were knocked out, I heard him say something about a factory. A new base, perhaps?
Sounds like that's where he's been hiding. I gotta find it.
Okay, I'll join you. It's not safe to go alone.
We searched the island on days 187 through 190. We started our search for the factory. We looked high and low, but couldn't find the factory anywhere. Where is it? It's gotta be around here somewhere. Keep looking. After walking for so long, we started to get tired and found a place to stop.
We've been searching for ages. It's hopeless.
We can't just give up. Wait, I know someone who can help. Jeff followed as I traveled all the way to where Timmy was. Hey, Timmy, you here?
Oh, hello, Charles. Long time no see. Nice cabooses.
Thanks. Anyways, I'm looking for a big factory. Have you seen it?
Well, yes, but no. I've seen some guy in a blue shirt come here stealing some iron and scrap for his factory.
That's him, Steve.
But your Steve shouldn't be too far from here. He's always talking about how short of a walking distance this place is for him.
Awesome. Thanks, Timmy.
Thanks, Timmy.
It's Timmy.
We checked the nearby area on days 191 through 193. Just like Timmy said, we were soon able to see a giant factory in the distance.
There it is. We're almost there.
We were just starting to get closer, but as we did, we were met with Warren in a weird suit.
Surprise!
Warren?
What? How? When? Where?
That's enough questions out of you. All you need to know is that I'm back. And with this new body here, I'll kill you once and for all.
Warren, Jeff, and I all started fighting. Warren had some crazy jumping abilities and could shoot blocks at us when he landed. However, my lightning powers, combined with Jeff's spider fangs, seemed to make it as if we were winning. But Warren had obviously had enough.
If I can't beat you, Charles, then I'll just have to settle with killing your friend instead.
Warren suddenly switched his aim to Jeff and used his stomp attack, severely injuring him.
Charles, I don't feel so good.
No! You monster! I became fully enraged and noticed an egg had materialized nearby. I used it immediately and gained a new power, teleportation. Now you'll pay! I teleported up to Warren's face and struck him down, obliterating him once and for all. Jeff! With the fight with Warren over, I took a moment to mourn my friend and made him a quick grave. Rest in peace, Jeff. Thanks for all the help, buddy. With that, I continued to the factory alone. On days 194 through 196, I made it to Steve's factory, and when I got there, he was already hooked up to some kind of transfusion device. Steve, what the heck is this nonsense?
Well, Choo Choo, in just a few minutes, this train and I will become one, and the transformation will be complete. I will be just like you.
That's not gonna help, you psycho. Plus, your friend Warren is dead, for good this time.
That's fine. I didn't really care for him. He just paid my paychecks. Now, stand and watch, Charles, as the first ever human-to-train transformation is complete!
The machines lit up and started flashing, and Steve began to transform. What in the world? There was one final big flash, and the transformation was complete. Oh boy. Giant freaky train spider Steve charged at me, and we began to battle. He had all the same powers that I did, and more. Every time I tried to hit him with something, he would counter with the same ability. We were an even match physically, but luckily I had more experience using my powers. Very slowly, I was able to gain the upper hand on him. I hit him with one huge blow, and he was badly injured. It's over, Steve.
Nope.
Before I could stop him, he hit a button on his device.
Building will self-destruct in 10.
No, you crazy man!
Am I?
He teleported away, and I realized I could do that too.
4, 3.
I teleported outside as fast as I could, and then turned around to see the building exploding. Dang, that's crazy! Steve had fully lost his mind by choosing to merge himself with the train. I headed back home one last time before setting out to defeat him once and for all. I gathered all my friends in a circle. Listen up, everyone. Warren is dead. Woohoo!
Sweet. Wait, again?
But unfortunately, Jeff is dead too.
No! Oh, the horror! Why must the good die young?
He was alright.
Steve has merged himself with his train, and he has become super lethal. I'm going to take him out and hopefully restore the island once and for all. But I'm gonna need y'all to do one more thing for me. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below who had the coolest room, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Can do, buddy boy.
All right, I'm off.
Good luck, Charles.
On day 199, I saw lightning strike in the distance. He must be over there. Steven, I found you. It's over.
We'll see about that.
The battle was close. Steve matched me with everything I had, along with some extra powers, like his void powers. It was as if I was fighting my clone, but I knew myself much better than Steve knew me. I knew I was smarter and could defeat him.
I'm tired of you, Charles. Stay back. I'm not gonna fight you here. Let's finish this at the heart of the tree. The winner gets the heart, and the loser dies for good. No respawns.
Just then, Steve crawled away. Great, just great. It was finally day 200. I met Steve for our showdown at the heart of the island. I was more than ready to end this madness. It's over, Steven.
Yeah, it's over. Over for you.
Steve turned to the heart of the island and set it on fire. What are you doing?
Absorbing the heart's final bit of energy.
The heart continued to burn, and soon after, Steve grew even more powerful. You lied on your agreement.
I did what I had to do, whatever it takes to win.
Yeah! I charged at Steve with full force, sending him flying back, but not knocking him down. I channeled all of my powers against him, using my lightning and teleportation often, while also shooting and slashing with my weapons. Even with all of my attacks, Steve was able to match my energy with his new form. He shocked me back, sent me back with his jump and smash ability, and slashed with his sword.
This island is mine. You're going down, choo-choo creep!
You're wrong! I didn't come this far to lose! I blocked his attacks with my shield and mustered up my strength and abilities before focusing them on Steve for a finishing blow! For the island and for Jeff! Choo-choo, mother trucker! Steve went down with a bang, and the island was finally free from his chaos.
Thank you, Charles. You have saved us all.
Actually, it's not choo-choo, Charles. I'm Don't forget to click the link below or scan the QR code and get started in Once Human with your exclusive rewards today. Thank you, Once Human, for sponsoring the video.